I have to show how culturally accepting I am before I ruin myself within the first 10 minutes of this. I know it's going to happen.
It's coming.
No accents this time. Only accents for white people.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't do accent.
We're going to make a red herring of an accent.
Howdy.
This will be our Chinese accent. We'll redo our
Patrick
Patrick
Warburton.
Warburton.
Hello, little yellow man. What's up?
Bing bong.
Hey guys.
Chinese accent.
Here we are working on the railroad.
Wow, I really love that white rice.
Love that white rice. I'll tell
Love you
what.
long time, partner.
Really love beating the shit out of my wife.
All right. That's good. Welcome to
like
Roast
a
Mortem. Hold on, I'm doing that again, Travis. But leave it in. Welcome to Roast Mortem, the only history show worth citing on your research papers. My name is Tom.
I'm Travis.
I'm like,
I'm Connor.
Full house tonight, boys. Full house. And we got full mouths tonight.
Full
Yeah,
mouse.
Mike is tonsils deep in some egg rolls.
yes, I am.
Yeah. We're going to celebrate the Chinese New Year in fashion this week. Is it the Chinese New Year? Is that why we're doing this episode?
I feel like it's always Chinese New Year.
It's,
right.
I think it moves around the calendar, so we could,
What's this year's animal?
Year of the raccoon.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Oh, that's nice. Love the trash panda.
That is your favorite animal. I know
It
that,
is.
Travis. I know you like shiny things. I know you like to hump a pillow every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay, Chinese New Year was in February.
Oh,
so
All right, happy Chinese New Year.
We're
everyone.
close.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, happy belated.
Guys, we're so ready for this. We've done all the research.
Oh,
Travis, I'm very excited to hear what's happening tonight. But first, I need to ask Mike the question. How's your week, Mike?
I had a little learning experience this week with Welch's fruit snacks.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Explain.
Sometimes you want to let them marinate on your dashboard of your car, get a little hot, a little soften up a little bit. I left mine out there too long, about like an hour, and they were just jelly. So eating jelly out of a bag.
So you treat it like a stick of butter you're about to cook with.
What was that?
Yeah, it's
No,
like butter.
you don't cook. I
You
forgot.
let it soften. No,
Yeah,
this
Mike, is
cooking.
this some like
Softened his-
is this some like Italian we put the Welch's grape jellies in
this
the
is-
bag for 7 days.
This is me being like trying to be witty or creative with my my jelly snacks or my fruit snacks.
So your fruit snacks got too loose.
a little hot, too hot.
You don't want loose fruit.
No one wants to hear about my fruit snack. Tom, how was your week? Sorry for this. So sorry for this fucking terrible story. Tom, you know what? Get the Arizona ones. Arizona fruit snacks are a lot better.
How
Okay.
long should you marinate
Thank you.
those?
Don't marinate unless they're. I mean, those are good to go out of the bag. I'll say
Right.
that.
You
Arizona.
never need to
We-
marinate
sponsor us,
them
please.
or just heat them up.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
No, you gotta do it natural with the sun. You know,
Sun dried fruit snacks.
what's the fun of
It's
putting it in
a
a
slow
microwave?
roast.
Oh boy.
You can't put
Look,
plastic in a microwave.
I'm getting right into it. I'm gonna be rude. I went to a wedding.
Oh yeah.
I had a brown wedding,
How is that?
which is only drinking brown things.
That's good.
Yeah.
With chocolate milk?
Oh, hell yeah.
It worked so well. I'm surprised. I felt like a real degenerate. I think I went through a bottle and a half of liquor, and I don't know if I actually felt anything.
Wow.
That's saying
Was
something,
this just
Tom.
like Oliver Reed, like hangover almost?
God,
Like,
yeah,
You're
dude.
just
I
channeling his spirit.
I definitely want to mention anyone who listened back to those. I was listening to a little bit of them. Boy, do I like that guy too much.
Yeah.
That wasn't even funny.
I feel like he's our spirit animal. Like if we had, like we were talking about it
Mascot?
on Oliver Reed, the Welsh have the Welsh dragon on their flag. We just have Oliver Reed and then a diarrhea behind it.
They'll make some T-shirts with his head on like an eagle.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, but I had an Oliver Reed moment, and then I doubled down on the brown 2 days later, and I did get to feel it that night.
Mm. Don't double down on brown.
In the bathroom.
It was the same amount, same bottle and a half almost, but within a 3-hour window instead of a 10-hour window.
Oh.
So
Is it just liquor that you're talking about, or are you drinking brown ales as well?
no, just liquor.
Oh, okay.
Were you also only eating stews or?
No, don't eat. You can't eat.
No
Can't
bread?
eat.
No,
Eating
I'm
cheating.
just. You have to eat. Okay, if you're
No
gonna
bread.
eat, you got to eat meat, or you got to reheat the meat, which is an old burrito. Okay,
Oh.
got an old
Yeah.
meat, you got to reheat that meat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I like
so
that motto.
my week was a blur. If you didn't gather from that bit of information, Connor, how was your week?
I had a great week. I went up to Binghamton, my alumni, or I guess I'm an alumni from there, but
Oh,
never
wow.
even saw the school. My buddy still lives up there, so me and a few friends went.
Okay.
Had a lot of fun. You'll be happy to hear this, and so is my dad. I texted him the next day. I loved the brown that we were drinking, and I'm normally not a brown drinker.
Wow.
I was gonna ask, how
I
much
know.
brown did you have?
So it starts as also that earlier that day I went to a casino for the first time in my life.
Whoa.
All right.
Oh.
Wait,
I did not do well,
Oh.
but my 3 friends did great. So then one of them splurged on a bottle of Macallan,
Oh, okay.
and then
Ooh.
we finished that bottle
Oh.
not too long after.
Very nice.
Your dad has mentioned to me that
My
he's
lack
upset.
of brown, I know.
Yeah.
It's probably his biggest disappointment in
I
life.
got drunk with your dad, and he screamed at the top of his lungs, "Why won't my son drink whiskey with me?"
And maybe it just took until now.
I'm
Yeah, well-
gonna be very happy.
Were you gambling on a Native American burial ground? Were these people trying to scalp you?
Is Tioga Downs on a Native American burial ground? 'Cause
Sounds it.
Kinda sounds it.
Probably
like it.
is. Probably.
Yeah.
It's not a reservation casino. It's like
Oh,
a racetrack that got grandfathered into the table games rules,
Mm,
so they
okay.
kind of just can do what they want.
You can add it on feature later
Right,
on.
Yeah.
so it's definitely on a burial ground.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
burial of lots of dead horses from all the races, so
Yeah.
definitely that.
Little sea whiskets.
Yeah,
A lot of dead
exactly.
bodies.
Well, I'm glad that you got your brown. I'm glad that you lost money.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you because it's a learning experience.
Mhm.
Not happy about your lost money. Travis, what money did you lose this week?
Oh, you guys talking about drinking brown? I've been drinking brown as well.
It's a brown
It's not,
show.
I feel left out. I didn't drink any brown. I
No,
drank
it's
jelly.
not spicy brown though.
You drank
It don't-
jelly out of a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not spicy brown though. I've been making a lot of soups.
Ooh,
Drink-
Okay.
So I made a beef stew and it was brown as hell. I
Mm.
chugged it.
That sounds good as fuck.
beef stew's
And then
great.
I also made like a lemon chicken soup. I've just been a soup boy.
Ooh.
I've been making lots of
Lemon
things
chicken
that
soup.
you don't have to worry about. You throw it in a pot. You could. I realized when I move to a house, I'm gonna get a cauldron, and we're gonna have like cauldron soups.
Oh, you're gonna get like one of those 30-year soups where the burner never goes off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Travis, how's the scale doing? Are you still on keto?
Yeah, I'm still keto boy.
Yeah, you look good right now.
You look
Thank
sexy, bro.
Svelte.
Yeah.
Yeah, I owe it all to the soups.
Okay. So I guess
You
no
want it-
noodles.
Yeah, no noodles. I didn't have any
No-
noodles,
no carbs?
but I can drink brown water with beef in it.
That's fire.
There you go.
It's cool. Very cool.
That's modern fucking medicine right there.
Yeah. Oh, and also, by the way, we actually had someone leave us a voicemail. And I wanted to, usually we play these at the end, but
All three
I
times
wanted-
we've had voicemails.
yeah, although all 3 times we had voicemails.
If you're
but-
new to the show, we don't ask for them a lot. So we're not that's not a desperate thing I just said. We
Not
just
voicemail
don't do
heavy.
it much. Let me explain myself.
Yeah, so let's have a listen to this great viewer. He did not want to send us a actual phone call, so he emailed me.
All right.
Felt it was not secure.
Hey Tom, 69th President Ronald Reagan here. I'm calling from Air Force 420. Roast mortem cast just gave me diarrhea. That's Spanish for when you liquid poo-poo, if you don't know. I learned way too much history. My brain got too smart, and let's just say, I laid some good American soil on the old MeUndies rose garden. Anyway, thanks for making me so smart again. Remember the 80s? Boy, I was probably the dumbest Jimmy John out there. Oh, and Michael, keep crushing those McTwisty tray flips at the skate park. You were
Yeah.
doing the Lord's work.
I like this
Dancy
guy.
Shane. Woo, woo, woo. I'm going to come. Nancy, get on the counter outfit and bring Bushy Boy with you. Daddy's got some liberty to spray. Gotta go, guys.
Can we get this guy on the show?
Sweet Jesus.
I like this guy.
That was awesome.
Oh man, I didn't know Ronnie was still kicking.
Well, you know, he didn't feel comfortable enough using the actual telephone. He was flying around on Air Force 420. So
Wow.
Well, thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's special, right?
Ronnie, I'm sure you're listening right now.
Yeah.
I hope you're able to eat some jelly beans.
Mm.
You know, just enjoy them.
Hey, Ron, thank you for that shout out. I love you.
Okay, good. Ron, That's enough of that. Let's get into some history, right? Come on, boys.
Yeah, Travis,
Now-
I'm waiting.
Traffic. Why did I say traffic?
Traffic, I'm waiting.
Traffic.
Zwick.
Don't edit that out. Come on,
Yeah,
you don't edit
don't
anyway,
edit.
bro. You know, I tell you to edit this shit out, and you don't do it anyways.
I'll make it louder all the
Traffic.
time. No, leave it in traffic. I have no idea. I just
My
had
name
an
is
aneurysm.
Traffic Lee.
I like
Travis.
that name, Travis.
What I meant to say. Travis, bring us to the land of brown. Okay?
All right. I'm glad you said that color over other colors. Yeah. So tonight we are going to enter the mythical underwater city in the Atlantic Ocean, New York City.
Oh,
I saw those videos
wow.
of the subway, and it kind of looked like the Titanic, except you replace Leo with some rats and mole people.
Okay.
Very damp. Did you guys? We didn't talk about it on How's Your Week, Mike. I feel like you were underwater.
Me and I was dry. I'm
okay.
staying dry this time.
All right.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, who cares?
You know what? The subways look very dirty, though. I was very pleased I did not live in the city at that moment. You know?
No. So we are talking about the shady New York underground. You know, you hear a lot about the Italians with the
Hey.
uppity Sicilians. We talked about Gotti. Mike is on a fucking
I didn't
list.
talk. What do you? I didn't say anything about Gotti, bro. I don't know this guy.
Yeah,
Right.
You'll find it.
You've got these Sicilians hairspraying themselves to death in the streets. You know, we got the mix that switched from dirty potato munching street thugs to cruising the streets in paddy wagons,
That's my
getting
people.
all seedy and fucking shitty.
Yeah.
And then, okay, we've also talked about the Jews, right? Committing those white collar crimes, right? Unless we're talking about like the Hasidics, in which case they openly commit barbaric acts of crimes against humanity in the streets, but everyone's afraid to say everything because they don't want to get called Hitler.
I'm not. I'll say whatever. Fuck those people.
Wall
Well,
Street.
you're protected. You have protected immunity
Yeah, yeah.
for it. So
I got to stand up.
Yeah.
I'm one of them. I'm the
Yeah.
Jesse Lee Peterson.
yeah, exactly. You just stand up and
Of
say,
this
"I'm
side.
one of you," so I can
Yeah.
criticize you.
That's right.
I was gonna say something. I'm not gonna say it.
You can't
Wall
say it,
Street-
I'm
actually.
not gonna say
Though
it.
we're
I'm
family.
not saying it.
Continue,
You just
Travis.
can't pronounce
Please,
it.
please take us away.
Wall Street. You've got wasps
Uh-oh.
committing.
Travis
You
is
got
in
wasps
the Matrix.
committing crimes on a federal level.
Or even
You know,
hacked.
and then enter the the black gangs during the jazz movement, dealing morphine up in Harlem, and then up to Biggie in Brooklyn. And they got Latinos. Hey, they got bodegas, they got chopped cheese,
Hey.
and they got cocaine on lock.
Okay.
So New York City is not so much of a melting pot as much as it is the scum that forms around the ring of your tub when you're soaking your crusty cum socks.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
That's why it's so fun.
Yeah.
L'chaim.
Yeah, my socks are very dirty.
So one ethnic group that New Yorkers somehow, that most New Yorkers seem to, a group that has slipped underneath the radar from Martin Scorsese and his crime dramas, would be the Chinese, right?
Sure.
I
I don't think Scorsese's ever made a movie about the Chinese mafia in New York.
I don't think
no.
so.
Who made Chinatown? There was only like one Chinese person in that movie.
Wasn't that based in California?
Yeah, but you know,
What about
Come on.
Rumble
Come
in the Bronx? Isn't that?
that's Jackie Chan.
Yeah, he's Chinese.
Oh, okay,
Chinese.
yeah.
Okay. So
Sorry, there's
what-
one. Yeah,
That's a
there's
good
one
description of New York
cinematic
City,
masterpiece,
and, there
Rumble
you
in
go.
the Bronx.
You guys are welcome. I'm here.
Thanks, man.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
I do my part. Yeah.
So yes, how you guys have all been to Chinatown, right?
Yes.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
LES.
right down on Canal Street, Mott Street, Pell, all that area. It's Little Italy's exotic neighbor. And the crime does not just stop at bootleg DVDs and underground wet markets.
Mm.
China in general.
Just China.
Chinatown has been a hotbed for triad activity longer than the blacks, Latinos, and Italians. Tonight we are diving into New York's Tong Wars. And our subject today, main subject, is a man named Mock Duck.
Oh.
Mock Duck.
Love that name.
I
Did
like
you
it too.
double? Is that actually how it's pronounced?
That is
That's-
how it's pronounced.
I like that name.
So I've been eating him in my Pad CU whenever I go to the city.
Yeah.
Oh my
See
God.
you later, he says. I'm
Pat,
out of
see you
here.
later.
I'm fucking goose.
Now, first of all, I said a weird word. I'm going to be saying a lot of weird words tonight. That's how it works.
What'd you say? What was it?
that weird word is Tong.
Tong. How's that
So-
spelled?
Tong.
Okay. Phonetically, Tong.
Like a tongue you'd pick a cheeseburger up with.
Yeah, like
The
the
cheeseburger.
ones.
Most people use salad tongs for salad. You use them for cheeseburgers. I
What do
can't
you
believe
fucking
this.
mean?
Yeah, what you eat cheeseburgers with a tong?
Yeah,
Fuck
just
you
I've
guys.
seen Mike just hold it up with tongs and just like chew around it.
You know
I'm
what?
just curious as to why that was the example. But
It's
also,
it's
we
a
don't have to
fucking
get
hand.
I'm not here to pick on you. I'm not here to pick on you. I'm here to get to the facts.
I'm just trying to relate to the people that listen to this show.
Well,
Yeah, I know a
Fair
lot
enough.
of people. A lot of those people that go to Burger King and ask for their tongs so they can eat a fucking Whopper.
All right, next time you guys want your burgers to off the grill, just use your hands.
yeah.
Or a spatula.
Yeah, fuck that.
What
See,
people
this is why I
use.
got to teach you how to cook, Mike.
Spatulas they're always dirty and they're always been used, so I have to go for the top.
He's dirty.
So, okay. So let me tell you what a real tong is, not shit that. Mike, you also like drop your salad and soup together in a bowl. So we're not talking about culinary shit. A tong.
That shit's good.
A tong is a labor organization as the mafia promotes legitimate businesses.
Okay.
Make sense?
I'm a little lost. What do you mean?
So a tong is think of it like a union, but just for
but for the mob.
Chinese people.
Oh, all right.
But
It's
you
like La
know,
Costa Nostra.
it's the equivalent of like the mob saying, "Yeah, we own a legitimate barbershop." Like the tong's like,
Oh,
"Yeah,
okay.
we own a legitimate labor union."
It's like a labor union front
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah.
All right.
So tongs popped up in San Francisco first because that's where Chinese migration started, and then in New York. And the main focus was to help Chinese immigrants set them up with work and housing when they moved to America. They also provided protection against all of the anti-Asian sentiment that happened through the 19th and 20th century with the Asian Exclusion Act, Chinese Exclusion Act of 1880 and all that shit.
What about today? Are they around today to stop all this Asian hate?
Yeah, they actually resurfaced because Cowboy Bebop's coming out and everyone's angry that Faye's titties aren't big enough. So
Really?
she ran to the tongs and
Oh.
they're helping her out.
They're really coming out with the new Cowboy Bebop?
Well, they're doing a live action, which is
Oh.
setting it up for failure
Oh.
as it is.
I hate that
You know,
when
then
you do
they
that.
The
casted-
pictures look cool,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but do they?
It never
They're
works.
they're lacking some serious cleavage.
I'm saying
Yeah.
this is someone who's never seen Cowboy Bebop. I just saw
Oh,
those pictures and we're like,
Cowboy
that's a
Bebop?
cool picture.
I could change your mind later.
All right, that's fair.
So interestingly enough, these labor organizations or tongs are still around today. So that you're eating those that crab rangoon you like so much, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
If you've ever been to a questionable Chinese food restaurant with the faded 1990s photos of Happy Family
That's the
And-
best shit, though.
and General Tso's, chances are they were set up by a tong.
Ooh.
Those are the best restaurants, though. Like the shittiest looking ones always have the best food sometimes.
So I'll just get out in front of this. I would suppose that the tongs are my favorite Asians
Yeah.
because I can't think of
Yeah.
any other Asians that have helped me as much.
Now, specifically the one.
We're all just going to let that sit there.
Yeah.
Let it fester.
It's gonna be
I
a
don't
lot
even
of
wanna
those
touch that.
I don't know, Tom.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
It's not you guys.
specifically with restaurants in general, we're dealing with a tong called the Hip Sing Tong, or as it's known today, the Hip Sing Association. They don't want to use
okay.
tong anymore.
They modernized.
Yeah, I got a spatula.
So hip sing means in Cantonese, because we're mainly dealing with some of the early migrations into America were Cantonese Chinese people, not Mandarin. So in Cantonese, hip sing means cooperating for success.
Okay.
Very nice.
It does sound a little ethno-state, just a little bit.
Hip sing?
Well, cooperation.
Oh.
Cooperating
success.
for Success
Yeah.
Association.
Yeah,
A little bit.
doesn't it? I mean, I know. All right, I have to stop.
It sounds like
Tom,
like
you're
something they would
walking
say
off
in
the cliff
Russia.
here.
or something.
I'll be off the cliff in 5 minutes. I know it. It's fine. Give me an egg roll.
I think
That was not a euphemism. He
Yeah.
just wants an egg roll.
Oh, you don't give me that rice.
Tom, you got to thank
I
your
think it
local
was
Tong
soup.
for that.
give you a big one.
Give me a big.
I ordered a small wonton soup for my. Shout out to these tongs. They are doubling my order.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
This is cooperating for success.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got
So
a
the
whole gallon of soup.
Hip Sing Tong is going to be our major, one of the major players of our story today. But before we get into the star of our show, the guy named Mock Duck, we got to do like a layup roast of this dude, not related, called Tom Lee.
I went to school with a Tom Lee.
Yeah.
Probably an accountant now.
Also,
he was blonde.
yeah. Also, Tom, if we did like talking Asians, if we did like a little fusion, right, like in Dragon Ball, we'd be Tom Lee.
That's true.
I'm stealing this, Tom. Sorry.
We'd be the tallest man in Chinatown.
Tallest and widest.
Yep. Everyone. We look like a Dragon Ball Z character.
I'm just picturing you guys like Tom on top of Travis's shoulders, and you're wearing like a big trench coat. Like, I'm Tom Lee. I'm 11 and a half feet tall.
Hello, is there anywhere I can go see a duck cut in half and watch it go to my hips later?
So Tom Lee was born in China in 1849. And Tom, surprise, surprise, was not his real name. His real name was Wang Ah Lung.
Oh yeah. I like that name.
I have thoughts. I'm going to bring them up later.
Okay. Banking him?
All right.
I like that name. And whatever Tom says, don't listen to it.
Yeah.
I have nothing bad to say.
So I'm just going to call him Tom. So Tom came to America when he was 14, and he became part of something called the Six Companies, which is sort of like a Tong, but it's like a syndicate of a bunch of different Tongs. So like,
So it's like it's the Lucchese's of the mafia Chinese style.
Yeah. So from obviously he came into America in San Francisco. Then he moved to St. Louis, where he applied for a citizenship and got it because this was before the Exclusionary Act. And then in 1873, at the age of 24, he moved to New York City and found himself on Canal Street, which at the time was not Chinatown. It was Mick territory.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Potato
Yeah.
Boys and stuff.
Now, I know the Italians are they're bumped up right next to Chinatown. Was that there too?
So this is all, the Italians kind of came in the early 20th century. So this is even before, I mean, there were Italians in the city, obviously, but there was no Little Italy.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
big Italian migration was later.
Okay.
This is when it's still the blood of the Irish.
So there was this one little guy. I shouldn't have said little. There was a guy in New York. There's a guy in New York. His name was Wu Qi, and he was like the only kind of Asian on Canal Street. I mean, there were a few others. I think it was under 100 Chinese in New York.
His name was Wookiee.
Wu Qi.
He was from Star Wars.
Good relations with the Wu Qi I have.
God.
It's part of the
Shout out to
Wu-Tang
him.
Clan.
Shout out to him forever.
So Tom goes to Wu Qi's shop. Now, Wu Qi operated a lot like a Tong that I talked about. So he owned this little shop. You could buy your Chinese stuff that you want. I don't know, chopsticks and cool hats.
Right.
And he'd set you.
That's it.
That's cool.
He'd set you up. He'd set you up with a job. Now, this little like convenience store that he owned, or like general store, also doubled as an opium den and gambling parlor. So right off the bat, we already
Cool place to hang out.
Yeah, cool place to hang out. Opium wasn't illegal back then, so who cares?
That's right.
It's like
Legitimate
smoking weed.
establishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Having a cig.
So Wu Qi and Tom Lee, they worked together. Tom Lee kind of came in. He worked for the Six Companies. It was like, all right, man, I'm gonna make you more legitimate. And they helped settle more Chinese immigrants into the area. Now, the main occupation for the Chinese at the time were mainly people that worked in laundries, not laundromats, because there's no fucking machines. You gotta just get in there and beat some clothes.
That's fine.
And actually, today, a lot of places in New York that are laundromats and laundries are still Chinese run.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, any thoughts on that? Do you know how to wash your own clothes?
Yeah,
Mike?
yeah. Of
You don't need
course.
them then.
No.
You're out of there.
I'm lucky enough to have a washer and dryer. situation.
Mike, when you eat your soup and you put the salad in, just put your underwear in there too.
Yeah, a
gotta
little bit of
clean.
flavor. That's a
Yeah,
little flavor town. I like that idea.
It's called stock.
You know what? I think you're onto something. I like you.
Yeah.
Mike just decided he likes you,
Yeah,
Travis.
I was on the fence for a while.
Oh, okay.
After all these
That
years,
was the final
Yeah.
statement.
now he likes you.
He's been staring at you, just thinking how much you look like Steve Jobs.
Yeah, it's
right
really
now.
fucking hot.
Yeah, no, I got to get my turtleneck going, dude. I actually had a can of tuna fish today, so I think my mercury levels are elevated.
Well,
That's not good for the.
Just
How'd
one
Steve
can?
Jobs died?
Steve Jobs died because he was stupid and retarded at the same time.
Too much
So,
acid.
as I said, the number one profession was laundries. But all of these laundries almost always doubled as mainly brothels, sometimes opium dens, and gambling parlors. Sometimes they were mainly designated to like other things like tobacco shops and stuff like that.
This is all in one place.
It's like a one-stop shop.
Yeah,
you
like,
you
holy
bring all
shit.
your dirty clothes, you strip naked, dump it all into a laundromat, go bang a prostitute,
Mm-hmm.
It's
and
done.
then just like start gambling in the nude. It sounds sick.
Yeah.
Don't
That's
forget
even
the
better.
opium.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing opium the whole time. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Feed
And
me some
all-
opium and step in my dick.
And your clothes are
That's what
done
they
by the
say.
time everything's over.
yeah, and then boom, and you're out of there.
Yeah, and
Great,
it's not
great
like
way to
going,
spend a Friday night.
and it's not like going to a black barber shop either. Like where they're gonna be like, I don't know how to cut your hair. Like anyone was welcome at these opium
Okay,
gambling
okay.
brothel dens.
Because they weren't cutting hair.
Yeah, no, they're just taking your clothes off.
Unless you were into that.
Yeah, you want the fade, Travis? You don't want the
I
shape,
mean-
you know the shape up?
They offered the cut, from
Ah.
what I understand, but they got a lot of no thanks. I don't want a bowl cut.
We're gonna get a lot of those groans tonight.
The Chinese was real good. I'll say that.
It's a really good place that we ordered from.
So, so as I mentioned, Chinatown, modern day Chinatown, is like Canal Street, it's Pell Street, and Mott Street. Those are like the main three areas. Canal's kind of split with like other districts, but so by 1880, Wu and Tom had purchased every building on Mott Street.
Damn.
16 in total.
Oh.
So the Chinatown, as we know it, New York Chinatown was born. The New York Times Herald
Chinatown.
called them the Army of Almond-Eyed Exiles.
Oh my God.
Well,
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'm
when-
a little bit too far, I think.
who called them that?
New York Herald.
And when did they stop calling them that?
Was there a day where they're like, "All right, we got to cut it out"?
It was
It was-
2004.
So, yeah, probably.
We keep getting in trouble for this.
Wait.
One of the slurs that I heard reading this book, called Tong Wars by what's his name, Scott D. Siegelman,
Disick? Oh.
Okay. Shout out to him.
was Celestials. That was apparently a name for Asians. That was derogatory.
Celestials.
That sounds actually rather nice.
Yeah,
I mean, isn't that the name of like someone from the like a group of people from the Marvel comics? Like the all powerful beings are the Celestials.
So it
Didn't they
sounds
just
like.
come out with the first Chinese Marvel movie?
Shang-Chi,
Is that what it's
Really?
called?
yeah,
Liu
Hmm.
Kang.
and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Ooh.
I don't care what Hollywood says. We're going to do this, said the once brave Marvel.
So quickly, Tom Lee surpassed Wu Qi and became known as the mayor of Chinatown. Now, he dressed himself in all the Western styles. You know, there was kind of like it was a weird fusion of Western and Eastern styles going on. You'd see people wearing like the traditional Chinese, I don't even know the name of it, but like, you know, the
Robes, bathrobes, whatever.
But Tom wore Western clothes, wearing a derby and a three-piece suit. He spoke excellent English when he wanted to. Sometimes when papers would come up to him, he'd just break into like broken English. Like, I don't know, help me. But he could speak like fine English.
That's the first one of the episode.
That was me quoting Tom. You.
No, no, it wasn't.
That's you quoting a book, Travis.
And you could still quote him in your own voice.
Okay.
I'll one up you. Don't worry.
Yeah, he even married a big ass titty German Scotch woman named Minnie Rose Kaler, who was noticeably taller than he was, about a foot.
I mean, let's just say she was exceptionally tall, as opposed to average height. Minnie Rose. That sounds like a woman I want to stare at.
Oh yeah, she was smoking. I don't have a picture of her offhand, but she
Good
was.
for Tom Lee.
She was a looker.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So Tom was like, all right, like I should start my own Tong. So he starts a Tong called the Loon Yi Tong. And Wookie was all right with it because, like, you know, Tom was part of the 6 companies. Usually when a new Tong, or a new mafia moves into town, there's going to be some problems. But Wookie's like, meh, whatever. I got my opium. Have your Tong.
I like the lack of greed on that.
Well, I mean, opium makes it pretty easy to just not care. So
Yeah.
Good point.
it's like
Yeah.
new Tong, whatever. Let me just hit this opium hookah again.
Yeah. What are we talking about again?
Opium.
Tongs.
Okay.
Tong.
Hamburger sandwiches.
Now,
I was trying to pull into the opium joke, guys. The fuck? You guys are making fun of me. Not that.
I have never once made fun
You
of
just made fun of me.
You remember what happened to the last guy who made fun of you? I kicked him off the show.
Who was that?
Doesn't matter. Continue.
Oh, wait. Oh, that was rude of me. God damn it. You're not going to edit it out, you fucking piece of shit. I didn't mean that statement. I'm sorry.
So Tom Lee actually did a lot of really good things for the Chinese community. Now remember, we did Boss Tweed in the past. So this is Tammany Hall times of New York. It's super corrupt. People greasing penises, shaking taints. The big players of New York's underground, all the local governments are getting together and they're making all these behind the scenes deals at Tammany Hall.
Go for it. No video cameras.
Yeah, back then you can do whatever you want.
You really do whatever.
Yeah.
I'm really envious of times without cameras everywhere. And then kind of not envious at the same time.
What do you
ever
mean?
feel that way?
Well,
You can do I don't know, like the whole presence of like everything is watched now. It's kind of like
it's terrible, but you know, this
also
deserves
helpful.
its own episode. We
Yeah.
should figure out
Sorry.
who made the first surveillance camera. And then-
Steve Jobs
beat
probably
them.
that sick fuck.
Yeah, let's beat them with their own dead legs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for derailing your show.
No, it's a good question.
Sorry.
No, it's a great question. So
No, it's fine.
So Tom Lee played the system, this shady system of Tammany Hall really well, and so well, in fact, that he became the deputy sheriff of New York County in 1880. He was the first Chinese to hold any government position in New York's history.
Wow. He's a progressive guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to the Tang.
yeah, so throughout the 1880s, Tom Lee's influence and his Tong grew. And eventually he started a Chinese gambling union, which was a really big racket in New York City at the time. And actually in the 1880s, gambling keepers were paying $3 million in protection money to various city officials and Tongs and mafia and all that. Well, not mafia, Irish gangs. But $3 million in the 1880s.
Yeah, that's like, what, 20 million
A lot
or
of money.
more in today's money.
Yeah, but they're creating their whole industry. Like it doesn't like to make sure it can go through. It's better than paying a tax in a way. Like yes, it is its own form of tax, but because you're able to create your entire industry out of that, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tom was both a city official and a Tong leader. So he's getting money from both. You know, he's getting the money from the Tong, and he's getting money as the payoffs was the deputy sheriff.
You know, something tells me I don't have to worry much about Tom.
No.
Tom seemed to have done fine.
He's doing well. He's a sheriff now.
He's got big old titties
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
Big old titties.
I'm fucking
big
jealous.
Scottish titties.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
fuck
This
am I
is
doing?
this is the American dream.
It is.
Immigrated, became a citizen, married a big titted Scottish woman.
He's living
became
a
a
fucking
sheriff.
dream.
Yeah. He's rolling in the egg
corrupt
too young,
as fuck.
dude.
Like he
Yeah.
knew exactly what America was all about right at the start.
Opium's
Corruption
legal.
Yeah.
and big tits.
Shout out to Tom Lee.
What a beautiful man.
So Tom's Tong was so powerful that he decided to fuse it in with a much larger international Tong called the Ong Leon Tong.
Intercourse.
On Leon.
Yeah.
Merging. That's not always good though, right?
It's called the soft dock.
That can be kind of sketchy sometimes when you
It
merge.
depends, you know.
Yeah.
Is that what we're gonna get into, Travis? A little sketch area?
Well, okay, so at the start of the 1890s, there was a new Tong on the scene, and the lo mein was about to hit the fan.
Click, click.
Okay.
Trying to do like a Tong click.
Are you calling lo mein
Ominously.
shit?
No, I just think it would look cool if you threw it in a fan. It would go everywhere.
will look
It would. It'd make a cool sound, probably. It'd say like, "Ooh."
Why did you say the poo-poo platter was about to hit the fan?
I didn't think about that.
Well, here you are.
What would
That's all I think about.
They're
be the best
workshopping.
food to hit the fan? Best
Yeah.
Chinese food to hit the fan? I think egg foo young.
My
Yeah.
God, just watch that. Watch the yellow split up in the fan. Oh, God.
So enter the one I talked about before, the hip sing Tong. They're like, oh, we got to move into New York. Shit's happening here.
Facts, yeah.
So Hip Sing Tong formed in San Francisco, and it made the majority of its money smuggling Chinese people into the U.S. and Canada. Most of those people they smuggled into the States became slaves, especially the women. They were big into slave prostitution.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
It's back in the day.
This is before OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You signed away your rights. This is the first MySpace.
Yeah.
This is how it happens. You say, oh, you'll bring me over there for free? Sure, you could see the entire world from a box.
And of
Watch
cour-
it pass by you.
Yeah,
Wow.
of course they
It
did
was-
all the
oh,
other shady
God.
Chinese underground stuff of selling opium and illegal gambling dens and all that shit.
Cool.
Now,
Very
the
cool.
hip sing Tong was far more insidious than Tom Lee's Tong, and we're not hesitant to off competition in the middle of the street. They just come up to you and off you.
Would they
These
use
are-
guns or some other kind of cool Asian tool?
Sword, bro.
Okay, we're gonna talk about the weapons in a little bit, but yeah, they are. It's a lot cooler than just guns.
All right, cool.
Um,
Looking forward to it.
These are the cooperative success people, right?
Yeah, these are the cooperative success. Have fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks like you're going to cooperate. Well, my friend Tom Lee and his Wookiee, you're going to get the beat down on him with some chucks. Okay?
Chuck Taylor's.
So Tom knew that the hip sing meant business. So he employed his nephew, a guy named Toy Lee, a.k.a. Black Devil Toy, as an enforcer.
Black Devil Toy. I believe you can find one of those on adamandeve.com.
Send them to your favorite OnlyFans cam girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone to the show. Let's
Michael, test it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna continue, Travis.
Toy.
Wait, what was it? Black Devil Toy stands at over 1 foot, and that is a Chinese joke.
No, so Toy was actually massive. He was a whopping 6 foot, which in
Oh.
Chinatown towered over most people.
That's my height.
Even the Scottish broad.
Yeah, she might have been a little
He
taller.
had them jugs.
Beat her up with them. Give him like a motorboat. Give him some black eyes.
I can't stop thinking about her, really.
Tom's fallen in love, just like Tom Lee did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me and him are like this,
I mean,
except he's richer than me.
That's
yeah.
true. Open
gotta
it,
start. Tong.
start an opium den.
Yeah. I'll be your first customer.
So passe. Everyone's got an opium den now.
Sorry, just drop.
I'm gonna take another gulp real quick.
Drink.
Dude, take a big fat gulp. I got these chopsticks for you there, right? If you need them,
I
Connor.
can't do that.
You could just crack into either of those. I just ordered some shit, huh?
Sorry, I just lost my place. I'll find it.
It's like a roast pork and Chinese veg.
Alrighty, that goes.
You got some white rice
I
if
think
you want.
Either chicken broccoli or snow peas or something. Zwick, leave all this in. Let them know how much I love Chinese food.
Especially,
Yeah, well, these
especially
guys chomp
Mike and
down.
I just
Yeah.
smacking our lips right against the mic.
That's for the culture.
Hey, dude, get out of the way! My cat is bombarding.
I'm just embracing culture.
We're getting in the mood here.
Where's this place at?
Is it the one on
Oh, okay.
25A, like up by the bottle bargains or bottles and cases?
No. That place is fancy.
The place we get, Connor, sucks ass.
I hate. We're never going there again.
That place is so garbage.
All
We
right,
gotta
so
go
now
to
we've got now we're working on the Chinese food. Bring it back to Black Devil Toy here. He served 7 years in California for larceny and had once evaded police capture by jumping out of a 4-story window. And like Princess Peach, he used an umbrella to break his fall.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like if the cops saw that, they just have to be like, "That was rad as hell.
Yeah, he's
He's free to go."
Yeah. His weapon of choice was a blackjack, which was a iron bar wrapped in leather, essentially. It's like a mace.
Yeah. A lot of mob dudes use that, too.
Was it blackjacks what cops have?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, they
baton.
use like billy clubs. I think the blackjack is like supposedly the like meaner version of
Blackjack
club.
is the telescopic version now. But back then it was just a metal version of a billy club, I think.
yeah.
You know, for weapons.
Yeah. So we got Black Devil Toy there. He's securing stuff for Tom Lee. But the hip sings were smart. They were aggressive and they were willing to like just take people out in the street. They're like, instead of doing that, let's essentially work our way into Tammany Hall and essentially snitch on all of Tom Lee's illegal operations.
Oh.
So the hip sing representative, like their street man, their like government official was a guy named Wong Get.
Okay.
And he starts to go to Tammany Hall. He starts getting these busts to happen on Tom Lee's opium dens, there was starting to be more of a negative connotation towards opium. It wasn't completely illegal. Illegal gambling was definitely a thing. So,
but the opium dens, like white people started hearing about it. Or white women, rather.
was it?
white women.
And they started getting very upset.
It mainly was white women. They were like, "Where are my husbands? Oh, they've been in this laundromat smoking that dank opium."
Well, my husband's been having fun and not been picking up my smoke signals, so I got to do something about this. That's why we don't have opium anymore. And by that, I mean we only have pharmaceutical-grade opium destroying Long Island.
Yeah, that shit's not that good.
so
It's not good for
Wong
you in general,
even
I'm
went
saying.
so far.
PSA, everyone.
Wong even went so far to bust one of Tom Lee's personal gambling dens. So on April 8th, 1894, Wong accompanied policemen down to Mott Street to the specific gambling den. They kicked in the door to find smoky tables of this like Chinese gambling den. They used to play a game called Fantan, amongst other things.
What's that?
and-
Like a board game kind of thing, or
I think it's like more of like a domino type thing, like how they
I think I
have
know what you're talking
mahjong
about, yeah,
type
yeah.
of stuff.
Fantastic.
So yeah, so they kicked in the table. They see these like the smoky tables with Irish and Chinese playing, and there's big old Black Devil Toy sitting at the end of the table, looking right at Wong.
Take a seat.
So Toy just pulls out his blackjack
Oh,
and
shit.
charges Wong. Wong fled for his life down Mott Street, but Toy caught up with him, beating the living shit out of him.
oh,
The two Mick policemen just stood there and watched while Wong got his fucking ass kicked.
oh my god,
American policing traditions go back a long time.
that's our ancestors,
yeah.
Connor.
Yeah, that's our people.
Yeah.
Eventually, Wong was able to escape with a few broken ribs and a fucked up face and got away from the Chinese giant. And then the police were like, "All right, Mr. Toy, we're going to arrest you."
Now
they
we're
put-
gonna get you.
Yeah, they
Ugh.
slapped some cuffs on Toy and threw him in the tombs, which is what they used to call the main prison in New York. And apparently it was It was like a medieval dungeon.
I can imagine.
Oh, you
back in
mean
the day.
Penn Station?
Yeah, basically Penn
Yeah,
Station.
probably Penn Station. Yeah,
Penn 15 Station.
the
That's what they
bathrooms
should call it.
specifically.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right?
Tom was able to get Toy out, and he got him out on bail and paid off some officials. So Toy did fine.
I'm sure.
No need for a fourth story umbrella escape this
Yeah.
time.
No, not this time.
Not as cool though.
Yeah. I would go
Yeah.
with the umbrella anyway.
Hmm?
You know, if someone was breaking me out on bail, they're like, just about to do this umbrella thing.
Be like, can you just bring me to the second floor? I'll just meet you down there.
Yeah.
All right. Like,
Yeah.
I hate stairs.
mean,
I don't
there
wanna do
in
the
in that
full-
bathroom.
Yeah, I don't want to do the full 4 story. Can we like do 3 this time?
I already did 4. It hurt my ankles.
You guys want to see a magic trick?
Yeah.
You want to see pencil disappear?
You want to see
I'm
me
like-
jump out of this building with an umbrella?
Yes, Mike.
Continue, Travis,
Yeah,
please.
thank you. Thank
Yeah.
Who will let me on this show? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So,
I hear my
Wong,
voice now. It's terrible.
Wong and the Hip Sings continued their snitching. They even cozied up to a prominent New York family called the Parkhursts. I believe there's an area in Brooklyn called Parkhurst now, I think.
I don't know.
these were some waspy bigwigs. One of them was like a reverend, and they were set on removing the dope fiends of Mott Street. So these hip sings are like, yeah, dude, we're going to get rid of them. We're going to clean up the streets. We're going to clean up Chinatown. No, they weren't. But it earned them the nickname, the Chinese Parkhursts. So people were just like, oh, them Chinese Parkhursts. They're good boys. They're with the Reverend Parkhurst.
Would they wear something to signify that they were part of the group?
I don't know.
It seems like it was just understood that they were pals.
Yeah. The Parkhursts were also pals with then police commissioner Teddy Roosevelt. So the Hip Sing in turn were tight with Teddy.
Oh, Shady Teddy.
Yeah.
What do you think Teddy Roosevelt's favorite Chinese dish was?
Oh, duck.
I think he was like a chow mein type of guy. I
think he was
just
a duck
see him eating some cabbage.
Okay.
I'm going to go duck.
You're a
Final
duck man?
answer.
Duck over. I go with duck. Duck's so good.
Okay. We got that figured out.
This is, maybe one day we'll roast Teddy. I like Teddy, but this is a little weird factoid. I found out that apparently Teddy Roosevelt, as police commissioner, started the New York City bike police.
Oh, he's
Those
that guy.
fairies?
He's
The
that
1890s.
Those fucking idiots?
Mhm.
Oh, God.
Yep.
That's like the worst part of the police. I mean, a lot of them aren't good, but the bike ones, whew,
Yeah.
They're the worst egos.
Yeah.
they really
they do.
do. I think we could fix that if we propose that all those guys use BMXs. And if they want to pull you over or
yeah.
do something, they have to wheelie up to you.
That'd be rad.
Yeah.
That'd be
Oh,
so
man.
I could ride their pegs if I get arrested.
That's right. You got to ride the pegs back. Get on my back, son. You're going downtown.
Hop on. We're going to the station.
At least I look sick doing it. Please.
Straight up premium rush
We're
them.
also going to nail this sick grind down the railing.
Wait, I
On
can't
the way
hold
to
on to
booking.
you. I don't have my hands free
Instead, it's a bunch of weenies.
on fucking fixed gears.
Let's
Fucking-
write Bill de Blasio to change the bike cops to BMX bike cops.
I just
Yes.
want Bill de Blasio to disappear.
No, he's gonna run for governor.
They got
But,
segways now.
fuck.
They're all
I hope-
segways.
He is. He said he's going to.
Travis
Uh,
Pastrana, the new NYPD commissioner.
So
No,
this
we're fucked
plan
if
of
he's a-
cozying up to the New York reformers was twofold. So first, it made them seem like they were Chinese reformers that were going to clean up the sins of Chinatown, which at the time, white people were starting to get very afraid of Chinatown because of all the like opium and
Oh, God.
Asians.
Oh, God.
And Chinese people.
They're down there.
They're pushing away the Italians.
Oh, my God.
I'm not sure if they're looking at me.
Those acorns.
Acorns.
What did they say? Almond? Oh, it was
Almond-
almonds.
almond
It was
eyes.
almonds.
I knew what you meant.
I don't even like almonds.
Yeah, Ammons.
Yeah. The other reason was that they gained political power within the system. But sometimes, you got these white reformers, and they're like, sometimes the devil you eat spaghetti with is better than the devil jerking off in your garden. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know what that
True.
means, but I'm pretty sure it'll come to clarity very
Yeah.
soon.
The hip sings were going to ratchet up the violence and corruption to a whole new level. And
Okay.
finally, we're already like almost an hour in, but we're going to get to our main subject, mock duck.
Big duck boy.
I feel like I didn't know a lot about this stuff about Chinatown, so doing all the background on it, I found it really interesting about how it grew. So I wanted
When
to
do
put that
we
in.
talk about Andrew Yang?
That's Mock Duck's great grandchild.
Awesome. Bring me into Mock Duck's family line, please.
So Mock Duck had been a rising star in the hip sing. He basically made his way. He made his name as the street level captain of New York Chinatown in the hip sing. But because they were in bed with the Parkhursts, the papers of New York, which were covering Chinatown very closely, they called him the shining light of the hip sing Tong and a regular old Parkhurst. Now
So he's the shit,
yeah.
basically,
now,
you're saying?
what's that?
He's the shit, is what you're saying?
Yeah, everyone thought he was this great guy,
Okay.
but they really didn't know who he was yet.
Um,
So Mock Duck's real name was Cy-Wing Mock, kind of like Darkwing Duck,
Doc.
Or Psyduck.
Darkwing Doc.
Cywing Doc.
Sounds a little Star Wars guy.
Yeah. So
Psi
he
Wing.
was
X-wings, Y-wings, Psi-wings.
Psywing. So he was born in 1879, and he claimed that he was born in San Francisco, although there's some documents that say he was born in China. It doesn't really matter. He was a very slim man. He only weighed about 125 pounds. He had a shoe size of 6. Tiny feet.
They say about tiny feet.
Are you kidding me?
What?
That's hilarious.
Little tiny size 6s.
That's tiny socks for tiny feet.
He's like that little Bulgarian that has a TikTok.
Yeah.
How tall is he?
I think it said he was like 5'4".
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? In a world where men under 6 feet are told to kill themselves?
Well,
No. This is back then. Most people were shorter, so you had to be like 5'8" was the cutoff.
Yeah,
5'8"
To be
was
told to kill yourself.
anything less than 5'8", kill yourself.
Black Toy was my height, and he was like the savage of the time.
Right. And I'm taller than you.
Yeah, so you would be the extra savage.
You'd be a freak.
Yeah, you'd be like, holy shit, look at this guy. How's the weather up there, asshole?
We're just comparing ourselves to slightly shorter people genetically. It's not fair. It's actually not nice of us.
So while this guy was really small, he probably could kick the shit out of all of us on the show.
Probably. I'm fucking.
No,
I'm a loser.
do not doubt that. I've never
Yeah.
been punched in the face before.
You ever punched in the face before, Connor?
No,
Never?
I don't want to start tonight.
Never
That's
been-
what you're implying.
And you're a nice guy. Yeah, that's.
I think that's why I've never been
Yeah.
punched in the face.
Yeah, that's usually why you don't get punched in the face, Mike.
Listen, I've had bigger than a size 6 stand on my ass.
I've been hit
So-
with a brick before.
Although he may have had the right PR to be the shining light of Chinatown, he was actually the hip sing's enforcer and shakedown man.
Okay.
All right.
So Mock knew that taking on Tom Lee's Ong Leon Tong was too big of a bite to take for the hip sing right away. They had just moved into town. So he decided to start attacking what was called the Four Brothers. Now, the Four Brothers, another weird subsection, it wasn't a Tong, but it was a clan. So a clan were groups of people that shared the same last name, usually around 4 or 5, like different last names.
Like the Wu-Tang
And they all
Clan.
work together for protection and business reasons.
Do they do pools?
Yeah.
3 brothers, 4 brothers pools?
What about scrap metal?
Scrap metal.
scrap metal? 2 brothers
Yeah.
scrap metal? I feel like there's a pizza chain in there somewhere.
Yeah, this is the origins of that. I think,
4
Tom.
brothers pizzas. We can make a margarita like you never seen. Hot or cold?
Got too many
So-
brothers in the kitchen. What the fuck?
So Mock's first big shakedown was the owner of a gambling house on Pell Street, a guy named Chu Lok. Now Mock Duck demanded that Chu Lok pay $10 a week in protection money to the hip sing. And Chu was like, go fuck yourself. I'm not paying that. That's dumb. So I remember they're in like the snitch phase. So Mock turns to the police and he's like, hey, yo, this guy Chu Lok has a gambling den. Go bust it. Of course, the next day, Chu Lok just cleaned up the gambling den and there was nothing to be found. So Mock and some hip sing boys came back a couple days later. Mock and his boys draw their knives, stabbed Chu's brother to death. Mock took a few knife wounds himself, but this set in motion of what Mock was capable of doing, which was fucking up people.
Damn, it's pretty savage.
All right. Well, don't open the door when you hear the knock of mock.
Nakamaka.
You hear that knock of mock.
When mock comes a knocking.
Yeah. Oh, stay
You
away
wear
from him. His
You wear a
creepy
thicker
little
T-shirt.
feet.
So now, you've got Mock just stabbed a dude. So he's feeling
He's savage.
He's feeling all right. He's like, I could take down Chinatown, So he goes and meets with Tom Lee. And he very politely was like, hey, Tom, give me half of your illegal gambling revenue. And Tom was like, no. Like, he was really offended. He's like, fuck off, dude.
Well, you have to start high. I understand where our guy Mock is coming from, right? Like, if
He'll
I'm
say
gonna
no
get
to
any of
half,
this, I'm gonna
but then
demand
he'll
half.
still agree to a quarter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but there was no like, all right, give me a corner. He's like, okay. And this happened in the year 1900, and this was the beginning of the first Tong War. So it's debatable who really started it, if it was the Hip Sing with attacking the Chulak guy, but the first major hit was from the An Leon, and the An Leon, even though they did illegal shady shit, they weren't afraid to get their hands dirty, except that with the Hip Sing Tong, they would just go out and stab a motherfucker in the street. The An Leon would hire a gunman or someone. They'd hire a professional outside of their group.
Okay.
They're actually
smart.
Yeah, it's good.
A lot of the times they go turn the Irish guys. They're like, hey, you want to go kill an Asian? And they're like, yes, please.
Hiring outside the group is good. I was just thinking of that movie, The Usual Suspects. And the one Asian guy in that movie is played by an Englishman. So this is kind of where my head's been for a while. Like these tiny Englishmen pretending to be Asian.
Yeah.
And, Kobayashi, the lawyer.
He's the guy
hiring people.
Wait, Kobayashi eats hot dogs.
Kobayashi in The Usual Suspect is like, okay, guys, welcome to my building. And they're like, well, there's a Baldwin. We've seen it, okay? I don't want to... Look, I'm a child of the 90s. I'm racist. Continue.
Yeah, so the An
Oh,
Leon...
Tom's talking about.
Yeah. The An Leon hired a gunman to kill a Hip Sing member, a guy named Lung Kin, who was gunned down on the street at night on Pell Street. And like a powder keg, the Hip Sing, which was 480 strong, went on attack. So we're going to talk about kind of, you mentioned what do they use? They use cool Chinese shit? Of course they use cool Chinese shit. They used revolvers, with normal. I mentioned the blackjacks. They also used to use those big fuck-off giant Chinese cleavers. Like the ones you chop gooses' heads off with.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they were big on hatchets. And I'll talk a little bit more on hatchets in a little bit, because, we got juggalos nowadays. We got Chinese people
Top
back
hat.
then.
Yeah. Would they say like fun Chinese things as they charge each other?
Yeah.
Like me Chinese? That kind of stuff?
Us Japanese.
Me have knife? Me stab you, fuck your wife? I don't know. Why not have fun with it?
So all of these weapons, and we'll talk about a few more a little bit, were put to use on the streets of Pell, Mott, and the Bowery. So the Hip Sing set fire to one of Tom Lee's boarding houses, and then the Hip Sing hatchet men, not juggalos, hatchet men were specific hit men that Chinese used. They called them Pu Tao Choi, that specifically used hatchets.
Tell me.
Have you ever seen the movie Kung Fu Hustle, Travis?
I love that movie. Love it.
Because there's a gang that all they use is hatchets, right? Isn't it the main? Yeah.
They're Pu Tao Choi.
Is this? I think I'll let you continue. So,
Is this where the term
glad you
hatchet men came from?
No, I think that came from like Fago and methamphetamines and being out in the woods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, but these Chinese distinguished gentlemen that used hatchets, they went
just
on
thinking of Kung Fu Hustle this whole time.
Yeah.
now.
Well, they kung fu.
It is.
Yeah, they kung fu hustled one of the Leon in a back alley and decapitated him, leaving his head on a fence.
That's sending a message.
You mean that off of his body?
Right off his body.
Wow.
So this is one of my favorite hits that I read, specifically done by Mock Duck. So Mock Duck and his boys had a hit on this Chinese tailor called Sin Q. And so Sin Q's walking down the street. He's like, I got to do some suits today. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. He turns the corner and Mock blows pepper in his eyes. Like... And then his boys start beating the shit out of him with blackjacks. Somehow, Sin Q was able to escape. He was walking with a friend.
Not enough pepper.
Yeah, they hit him with enough
That's
pepper.
cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap blow.
So he runs off down the street, and Mock Duck chases him, firing off his revolver. Mock misses him and hits an Italian woman sitting on her front stoop with her kids.
Uh-oh.
She survived, but Chinese people hitting white women with bullets is not a good thing.
Big no.
No.
Yeah.
What? How do you have a whole bunch of guys and the guy with pepper in his balls? What the fuck?
Yeah.
So
that's sloppy.
yeah. So Mock hits the Italian woman, and he's like, "Fuck this," and he like runs the other way because he's like, "I don't want to get caught killing a white person," because he didn't know she was dead. She wasn't dead. But his lieutenants continue the pursuit, and one got a shot off through Sin Yoon's friend's right lung, and he bled to death out in the street when the officers arrived.
Ooh.
But Sin Yu made it?
Sin Yu made it, for now.
These guys are sloppy. They really are. I mean, like,
Dude,
I don't know how they do it today, but
Yeah.
back then.
You hit him
I'm
with the
just
pepper.
picturing him like gathering his boys, and they're like, "All right, so like he's gonna turn the alley. We're just gonna like shoot him a bunch." He's like, "No! I got this great idea. I'm gonna hold pepper in my hand, and then when he comes around, I'm gonna blow it in his fucking face."
Dragon breath!
Oh, what's up, Tom Lee? I'm eyes!
I'm telling you, it's foolproof.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that too? If they try to do the total diversion where it's not just step around the corner, it's like stop him and go, "Excuse me, can you fix this button on my suit, Taylor?"
No, Mock Duck, I think, is one of the worst shots. There's actually another story where during the violence, he just sits in the middle of the street, closes his eyes, and just starts shooting at some on Leon down the road.
Okay. At the risk of sounding a little insensitive, who said he closed his eyes? That's the question. If it was it the Herald reporting? Because we know they're a little insensitive to this shit.
A little windy that day.
I wasn't there.
So Tom Lee hears about this killing and the fact that Mock Duck shot an Italian woman, and he reports Mock Duck to the police. And now Mock, remember, he hit the Italian woman. He's like, "Fuck that," and he ran away. He decided to get on a train and go to Buffalo, New York, to lay low for a while.
Right.
Because he was just like, might have killed the woman.
I got all this extra pepper.
Time to go to Buffalo.
Got no salt, though. I keep thinking
going
Tommy
wrong.
Lee Jones when you say Tommy Lee, too. Tommy Lee Jones.
I just remember there was a company I worked at where there was a Tom Lee, and he was Chinese.
Oh,
He
yeah?
was a nice guy. Yeah.
So Tom,
So I think of him now.
yeah, this Tom Lee is like all knowing. He's got like eyes everywhere, eyes wide open. And so he knows that Mock Duck went to Buffalo. So he tells the police that. The police issue a warrant for arrest for Mock Duck. They send it up to Buffalo. Search was out for Mock. Now at the same time, the Hip Singh had put a street bounty out on Tom Lee's head for $3,000.
That's
So
bread back then.
yeah, so Tom Lee is like, I gotta lay low as well. The good thing about Chinatown, and if you've seen the movie Gangs of New York, you kind of see this. It's all connected with tunnels that were built as far back from the 1870s. So Tom Lee was able to just kind of move from building to building using these tunnels because he owned all the buildings. So
Did he put those tunnels in himself?
he probably did some of it. I think some of them were built before he even got there. In
That's
like
rad.
the late 1870s. But I'm sure he
We
built
need more
some.
tunnels.
Yeah, they don't do cool shit like that anymore.
We need to bring back tunnel culture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
They make all these skylines now.
Let's be
Oh,
mole
shit.
people again.
I like
Yeah.
that. I don't like the sun.
Let's create the
Fuck
option.
the sun.
How many people died this week in New York City because they didn't do proper sewage?
Some like 70. Well, 70 people died overall. So
They do proper sewage?
Well, not sewage, drainage.
Really?
People
Yeah.
died in their basement
like
apartments.
basement apartments. Just
Also,
flooded.
because they don't leave axes in the buildings anymore.
no more hatchet people.
No more
Yeah.
hatchet people.
Oh, so the sewage water built up and they died.
Well, just the
Well,
flood
the
water.
flooding came in. These people were sleeping, and then something about the water pressure
Oh.
Haven't you seen
kept them
Parasite?
locked in.
Yeah, no, if
Oh,
these
shit.
were Chinese built tunnels, they wouldn't have a problem.
No, they would just kill those people before they put them downstairs.
Yeah. So
It's true.
yeah, there's a hit going on Tom Lee, and Mock's up in Buffalo. They're coming after him. Mock knows that he's probably going to get arrested. He's not very good at hiding. Tom Lee has eyes everywhere, even in Buffalo.
Back then, you could just fucking disappear. What the fuck? What do you mean?
I mean,
Part
yeah, I
of-
guess if you just go to like Maine or something.
Go to Niagara Falls.
Yeah, but then you don't have any more money. You know, this guy wants to get all the money and all the fucking fame and all this shit, you know?
You still have to go to like connected cities.
Yeah.
I guess traveling was kind of a pain in the ass back then.
That's why they
too.
need the cabin in the woods type of deal.
Yeah.
Go hang out on the farm.
Yeah.
Come on to the ranch.
So Mock turns himself in Buffalo. And Mock wasn't too worried because remember he has that guy Wong Get and they're in bed with the holier than thou Parkhurst. So he's like, no, I'll take my chance and just turn myself in. I think he got the word that the woman didn't die. And also they couldn't really pin the murder on him because the other guy shot him. And
He just shot this woman, not the actual dead guy.
Yeah.
So, how long was he in Buffalo before he turns himself in?
I think it was a few months.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if it was like week one, it's like
No, he was
Well,
up
it's Buffalo. I mean,
I turned myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, how do you like do that? You're like, I shot this woman. It was months, right? Had gone by, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, I shot this woman a couple months ago. I'm turning myself in. They have like computers or shit to look it up right away. Like,
No, they'd
this
just
is
be like,
1890s.
I guess I
All
believe
right.
this guy.
we'll send a letter.
Yeah, what the that's fucking crazy.
So Mock is arrested. He's brought back down to New York. The Hip Sing place, pay his bail, so he's released. He's treated to this huge banquet down in Chinatown. There's a whole bunch of hoes there, bunch
Hell
of
yeah.
white women. There was this one.
Oh, I thought Hose was the last name. Excuse me. Keep going.
I think I'm the tool.
There was this one pimp that in the Hip Sing, this guy named Wong Aloy, and he would get women to work for him by hooking them on opium and then dragging them into laundromats and blah 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 blah.
Oh, it's nice to know that hasn't changed at all.
Yeah.
No, not one bit.
Just
Also,
evolved.
Now it's
like everything.
now it's just pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Also, Wong is a great name for a pimp.
Yeah.
Alloy.
commands
Too. Was
power.
that Alloy was the last name? Like Alloy Steel?
Wong Aloy.
Alloy.
Yeah, he was the original carnation of Lexington Steel.
I was thinking the same thing. That's crazy that you just said that.
Yeah.
So
We're on the same brain wave.
I read this book and I wasn't too sure. Maybe Double Jeopardy didn't exist back then, but for whatever reason, Mock was tried twice for murder for the same person. And both times, neither of them stuck. And the real reason was because the star witness, Sin Q, decided to fall headfirst out of his apartment after his apartment was set on fire from his wok burning oil.
Oh, how inconvenient.
Yeah, he just decided to take a headfirst plunge out of his apartment building.
See, he should have taken a note from Black Tom Toy. What was that guy's
Black
name?
Devil Toy.
Black toy.
Black Devil
Devil
Toy. He should have had an umbrella in his apartment while he's cooking on with his wok.
Wait,
Yeah.
Or you
If
could
he went
have
upside
just
down,
a
he would
big
have fell
wok.
faster.
Have a big wok.
Bigger wok.
he fell out on purpose?
I think he's alluding to
Or someone tossed him out the window? Here's
Yeah.
what you're trying to tell us, Travis.
Yay!
Come on.
Got it, Mike.
You ain't fooling me.
It's like the ex-KJB guys who shoot themselves in the head 3 times as their way of committing suicide.
Yeah.
That's savage.
I am sick of this world. I will shoot myself 3 times in head.
Bang, 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 2 through the eyes.
That's
He
skill.
left a note on the
will-
Word document.
Yeah. I will then place
Crazy.
2 pennies over my eyes after I am dead.
You have 10 seconds when you like. Supposedly after you die, you could do shit.
Yeah.
Like a chicken.
That would be pretty cool.
What would you do in your last 10 seconds after you die? Like what's
Hence how I died.
let's say it a good way.
I'd probably just keep doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
Let's say a bad way.
I'd finish my bowl and bowl that strike, right?
True.
I would do something. I don't know.
Because what is time when you're dead? It's all perception.
Mike, that's deep.
10
dude.
seconds.
You gotta
You
put
ever
those
seen
pit
the movie,
vipers down when you talk like that, dude. That's too deep.
Mike, life is nothing but what you're experiencing as your conscience is dying.
That's insane. We're dying every minute. You know what? In that movie Inception, they had opium dens, and this kind of relates to this.
There we go.
So that brought us right back on track.
I'm
Yeah, it's
spinning
all
that
twisted.
top.
So this guy dives headfirst out of his burning apartment.
Yeah, and Mock gets
No
out.
parachute.
Mock gets out scot-free. He's back on the streets of Chinatown, and so the tide was turning in the favor of the hip sing. So in 1904, Mock thought that he was hot shit. He would stroll up and down these streets wearing diamonds, his Smith & Wesson sticking out of his pants so everyone could see.
Okay.
And one exceptionally Chinese thing, probably lost in translations here.
Please tell me before I get excited.
Unless of maybe you're an acoustic guitar player. He had exceptionally long, sharpened fingernails. Now this apparently that is a sign that he was above doing dirty work. So he had long ass fingernails. You know, ever seen like one of those like ghetto chicks trying to type?
Yeah.
You know,
You ever get a hand job from one of the girls like that? It's insane.
It's terrible.
It's sick. I like it.
Really? You're into that?
That's a yes. Mike give us all a knowing look.
He's into the half rap.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. I can't be dealing I shouldn't be talking about this on a podcast.
You should be.
You're just gonna get girls sending you pictures of their nails.
Yeah.
You sound like you're into that, so.
The length, there's a certain, I draw a line on the length somewhere.
Well, you'd probably get a really good tuggy from Mock Duck then, Mike.
I probably would. He sounds like a hot dude. He's got money.
He's got to wash the pepper off his hands first.
I want him to blow it into my face before he touches my
He's got those tiny ladylike feet. He could put in your mouth and shit and whatever else you're into.
Let me put your socks on for you, Lee.
Yeah. Did he have long toenails?
Probably.
Let me
above that.
Yeah.
Let me clean your toenails out. Let me scrape that shit out for you.
Wow, Mike, I know a lot about you apparently.
We learned a lot about Mike
Travis.
today.
Opium dens.
Yes.
Opium dens. Go back there.
Long fingernails.
So
like kitty cat.
1904. He's hot shit.
You pick your ass real good with those.
Yeah, he's hot shit. He looks like Lopan from fucking Lindsay Lopan from.
I love that guy
from fucking Big Trouble in Little China.
What about the dude from the Guinness World Records book with the big ass fingernails?
Is there a guy who has that record?
Yeah, you ever seen that fucker?
Yeah.
No, but like.
Oh, that's gross. There was a Jackass thing. Or it was
they
Wild
curl
Boys.
around.
Yeah. They had a drink liquor poured down his fingernails.
Oh. So a guy has the world record for the longest nails?
Either a guy, I think it's a girl now. I think a girl.
I was going to say, that's a girl's record.
But I've seen a guy, there's an Indian dude that had it.
Nothing to be too shitty about, but for real.
It looked like a snail
It's
shell
something
on his
anyone
finger.
can do.
The thumb one's the creepiest.
Yeah, ooh.
Yeah.
Because it like doesn't even go that far. It just immediately starts curling.
And toe, I don't know the toe ones. Like, how do you put shoes on? You don't.
Maybe
You
you're
don't.
just.
You wear open-toe sandals.
I mean,
I should not have looked this up.
Ma-
Listen to this.
Maybe he was growing out his toenails because he wanted to fill out like a size 13. He was very conscious about his size 6s.
That's the guy. That's the guy that drank the shit off his nails with.
That's disgusting. I'm looking at a disgusting man.
It looks like
Fuck
sausage
that guy.
from my angle.
He's got a creepy little smile, and the worst part about it is it's only one hand.
Well, he's got
I
to be
think
able.
that's worse.
He's
I
gotta
think
be
that's
able to do
worse. I do two hands if you're gonna fucking go for this, you creep.
So
I just
okay,
want
so it's
break it
1904.
off.
It's 1904.
So
He's
satisfying.
walking around like hot shit. He was leaving a basement opium den in the middle of the day, and a gunman ran up to him and shot him twice at almost point blank range. Somehow, the gunman missed one of the shots, and another one grazed off of his belt buckle and lodged in his stomach. And apparently, the way it was shot, like I guess it deflected it a little bit off of his thing, but it saved his life.
Wow.
The fact that
Well,
Lucky
ricochet.
bastard.
yeah, the ricochet.
So the guy was trying to shoot him in the dick
Yeah.
and then make a second shot for God knows where.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy was like, all right, I got to shoot this guy. What is guy height with the head? I'm going to go there first. All right, that's about 5'9". That's where I'm going out first. Bam, right over his
Maybe
head.
this-
right over the bowler cap.
Maybe the second shot was for an Italian woman, an Italian woman bystander.
That's right.
You never seen those movies where like they go in for the handshake or the dap, like they go to like hug or something. And the guy just comes up with the gun and puts it in this waistband. Of
course.
that type shit. That's probably what he did.
I'm thinking he might have got him with some pepper.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I can't get over the pepper move.
So
All right, what year was this again, Travis?
1904.
1904.
Come on,
Thank
Tom.
Mike's listening.
Come on, Tom. Listen.
1904. A lot of misfires at that time.
So Mock,
Oh wait, never mind.
yeah, Mock,
Continue.
Mock was
I was gonna
able.
say Atlantis. I don't know I was thinking Titanic. That's
Traffic.
1911.
Yeah.
All right, Travis, continue. I'm sorry.
Mock was taken to the hospital and recovered, but in retaliation, the Hip Sing wrangled up a bunch of police officers and raided 9 major properties owned by the Onlyon. 15 Onlyon were arrested, Tom Lee not being one of them because he's sneaky in those tunnels. Another reaction to Mock being shot was that he decided to wear chainmail under his suit jackets.
Oh, man. This guy's awesome.
Yeah, so while chainmail couldn't stop a bullet, the majority of Chinese murders in Chinatown were from shankings, cleavers, hatchets. So probably not a bad idea to wear chainmail.
Not a bad idea.
He should just skip the chainmail. Just go around in plate armor.
This guy, he seems like an RPG character.
He's like a Final Fantasy 15 character.
Yeah, long nails. He's got chainmail coming out everywhere. He's got these tiny little feet. He's probably on stilts for fun. And look, he's running half the town.
Yeah. And so Mock became such a target that it earned him his Chinatown nickname, the Clay Pigeon of Chinatown.
What does that mean?
That's a good one.
Clay pigeon. What is that supposed to mean?
Explain.
When you shoot skeet, not cum, with shotguns, the little clay pigeons. You seen the guy go?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's been getting attacked a lot, is what you're saying.
Basically, everyone's trying to shoot him.
I would say he's got a lot of fucking money. It's in 1904. I'm living in a fucking hut somewhere or some shit in the 4 Points,
in the middle of New York City. You look stinky.
Yeah.
Hey, Arnold.
Yeah.
You're just in a hut.
Oh.
The Onlyon adopted a policy that whenever one of their places got raided, a Hip Sing boy would die. Bodies of various Hip Sing soldiers would pop up in back alleys with their skulls crushed or disemboweled.
Fire emoji.
Yeah.
100, 100, 100.
Not so
Mike,
fire.
question. What?
Continue, Travis. That's cool. I don't know. It's kind of sad, but cool. You know, that's like
So
you don't see that anymore in the world. You don't see danger. Everything is so fucking vanilla now.
It's a good
Yes.
point.
I want to see fucking bodies in the back alley when I go take a shit.
All right, Mike, you might
Move to
you might
Portland.
really love this place called South Africa, Afghanistan,
going.
Syria.
Portland.
Afghanistan's hot right now. I
El
hear they're
Salvador,
flying people in for free.
Yeah.
I gotta check it out. I gotta get out of here.
Good times.
This is when Mock pulled that stunt where he just sat in the middle of the road, closed his eyes, and started firing with his. It was 2 handguns, by the way.
Some
during
cowboy
that stunt.
shit.
Oh, he's
right
going to
there.
It was
Kimbo?
like, bang, bang, bang,
Big
bang, bang,
nails.
bang.
He probably looked stupid when he did it. Like most of the guys in his crew were like, he looks pretty dumb.
Yeah, with his long ass fingernails.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the money, so like, I know this guy.
So yeah, with him being called the Clay Pigeon of Chinatown, it was about time for Mock Duck to jump town again.
Deuces.
Yeah, he I don't know where exactly he went this time, but from hiding with a $3,000 bounty still on his head, Tom Lee started to feed the papers with crazy stories about Mock that weren't true. That he was a white man killer, calling him a short, fat celestial, that was that word I learned, out for blood.
We can't have that.
Yeah, the papers lapped all of this up and fed the white readers with the fear about opium dealing Chinese people.
Oh god.
It wouldn't be long before uptown New Yorkers started screaming, in quotes, "Lynch the Chinks."
Typical.
Damn. You know that's like the Chinese N-word, what you just said?
I know, but I've also said the N-word on this show when I'm using quotes.
Look.
This is just history.
stay
He's
true to the
explaining
source-
history. Yeah,
the
yeah.
source
I
material.
like that. No, this ain't no 1984 rewrite and stuff. Like you said, Tom, history paper material.
That's right.
Yeah.
We are the only show
We're true.
worth quoting on your research paper.
Exactly.
That's right.
Mock eventually returned to New York, and when he returned, he was instantly brought in for questioning about various murders that took place in his absence. Because they didn't know that he left, but like, do you kill this guy? He's like, nah. Mock was still like a really charming guy though, and he always cooperated with the police, and he still came off as a do-gooder in terms of the Parkhursts, but that would change pretty soon because again, the second biggest hit was about to happen. Yeah.
All right.
I'm not even eating egg rolls.
No, we've been munching away over here. We got to do this more often.
Yeah, that's good.
We're
Good
trying
try.
not to eat on camera too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. So one place in Chinatown that was considered clean of corruption and like a general neutral zone where the hip sing and the on Leon could meet up and just like relax and not have to worry about getting shanked was the Chinese Opera House. I believe it was on Mott Street. But all that was about to change on August 6th, 1905. Now, the On Leon were enjoying a performance of The King's Daughter, performed by some local Cantonese troupe.
Oh.
I'm sure it was terrible.
It wasn't Xiao Yun.
No. Is that
I'm
the
sure it was
one where
good, Tom.
they always show up and they're like,
Yes.
you want to see this on Christmas?
Okay, that
Xiao
took me a
Yun's
second.
back.
Yeah, it was like, hey, come on by, see the magic. It's just like, what the fuck is this?
So, yeah,
I'm
they're
sure
watching.
it's beautiful. Lots of sword play.
Yeah, they're watching that in the Chinese Opera House, and all of a sudden, a bunch of fireworks go off on stage.
Oh.
It's Chinatown.
It's great
There's a lot of
light, man.
fireworks all the time.
Mhm.
But a bunch of hip sing boys jump up on stage, led by a guy named Sing the Scientific Killer Doc.
Man.
It's like a rap name.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's the kind of name that makes you want to smash your head into a door.
Yeah, so
The Scientific Killer rolls
Yes.
off the tongue, sir.
It's definitely like
So-
a product of that old-timey newspaper, like, the scientific killer strikes again.
Yeah, right. They
That's
read
right.
that somewhere. They're
Yeah.
like, that's me now.
yeah, so
science.
this scientific killer and his buddies just unload into the crowd, dumping
Fire.
more than 100. And these are all with, they didn't have automatic weapons. They had pistols. They fired 100 bullets out into the audience. Somehow, again, not very good aim. Only 4 Angyan lay dead and 2 innocent bystanders died.
What are they doing? Like 360s or some shit with them? Like,
I
what are
think-
they-
Yeah, they're
At
just
this
like
point-
doing Max Payne flips on stage
yeah, what
for
the
whatever
fuck is
reason.
going on?
At this point, the question needs to be asked: were they accidentally loading blanks?
Yeah, what the fuck?
100 rounds?
Saying 18 fucking 12. Like, the guns are kind of good at this time, right? A little bit decent.
They should be.
Yeah, you can
No,
shoot.
either.
and-
Well, I mean, yeah, they're good, but they're also like Smith and Wesson, so they
Yeah,
have like
I mean-
six, bullets in
Oh, true,
a revolving.
But they're accurate, is what I'm
Barrel.
saying. They're not like
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, no, they're not like these.
No.
melted down.
These aren't like
pellets.
muskets.
Yeah,
yeah.
These are they have rifled barrels.
Yeah, so that should be,
Yeah.
you should be hitting your shots. You know, you gotta stand still and you shoot.
So after this massacre, the police made their rounds to the Hip Sing HQ, arrested 7 men, and then, thanks to a tip-off, arrested the ringleader, Mock Duck, who had planned with the scientific killer this attack. The police continued to make arrests, and in the end, 21 Hip Sings were in custody.
Damn.
That ratio is terrible.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like, got 5-6 people dead. We got 20 arrested. That seems like a fucking lose.
Yeah.
Great. You lost 20 guys trying to kill a bunch of people. We don't even know their fucking names. We got Science Boy up there pretending that Kung Fu is decent. He's going, let's get him, boys. Fucking,
We also only hit 6 people out of the
Yeah.
bro,
200 targets.
Oops.
bro, you could still walk that Chinese dragon down the street. Like, if you got 20 people
Yeah.
under there and 5 go, you could still do a charming dance down the street. No problem.
So the On Leon, it wasn't just getting arrested. The On Leon were out for vengeance besides the law. So a Hip Sing laundryman named Hop Lee was attacked in his apartment. He was strapped to a table by every limb. They cut his nose off and then hacked him up with a meat cleaver.
Oh,
Fuck.
God.
They cut his nose off to spite his face.
Yeah.
Mm.
Probably poured some pepper in there.
That sounds very unpleasant.
I love the pepper thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm just picturing it like Dale from King of the Hill, where it's like the pocket sand.
Pocket sand.
It's like
Yeah,
pocket pepper.
Yeah. So sloppy.
So, try as they may, they could not get enough evidence to convict Mock Duck for the Chinese Opera Hall. I mean, he had planned it, it wasn't there. I don't know, policing sucked.
Back then it was like,
Did Teflon exist at this point? Was he Teflon Mock? Because
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
They did keep him in detention for a year in the Tombs, just hanging out.
oh, that's cool.
But did they still let him have his nails?
Yeah. Is there a trim policy in jail?
Yeah, he's probably like going across the bars with them, like the old mug. Like
he's like playing it like it's a harp.
Yeah.
yeah.
Some kind of weird Chinese instrument.
Yo, you got that opium still?
Dungy ding ding. I don't know. Continue.
The only thing of consequence that really happened to Mock Duck was now the Parkhursts were like, this guy's a piece of shit. Like, so he lost his like
Credibility.
He lost his
credibility
backers.
of the white folks.
That damn white devil.
Apparently in America, you need that.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, you know how like weird deranged women decide to like go to like Ed Gein's house. And,
Yeah, I don't get that shit.
and,
Yeah,
like,
they
all
write
these
to
serial killers.
Yeah, they write to like Richard Ramirez. They're like, sit on your face. And he's like,
yeah.
It's like this.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That guy looked
wherever-
like a disease. Like that was a
Yeah.
human disease. That man.
Yeah, he looked like a puckered asshole.
Yeah.
Of a human.
So wherever there are grisly murders, there will always be spooky bitches wanting to do tours. Pretty soon, people were offering.
Sorry, like a bug on me. I hate bugs, sorry. It's like some weird ass thing crawling on me.
You're right there.
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, it's off me, but
Did it crawl out of the Chinese food bag?
probably
So
did.
you guys got
Oh!
problems.
Where is it?
I just felt it brush by me like a gentleman.
Mike sounded like a human being had crawled out of the floor.
Yeah, it felt like. Also, there's a piece of rice stuck to my elbow.
It
No,
was
I
probably a piece of rice.
Yeah, it's probably
It
right.
was
dude.
No, it was
crawling on
definitely
me.
it was definitely a bug. I saw a little crawler
Yeah, we
crawl
have a-
up this
You
wire.
motherfuckers didn't say anything to me.
I was
we have a
pointing at it.
grasshopper. It's a little baby grasshopper.
Well,
Crawling around this place. I
well-
don't know why.
He needs to know
Okay, so-
my personal space.
Leave the screaming.
That was
leave
fucked
the whole
up.
thing in.
I
So,
hate
but
bugs.
pretty soon, these spooky bitches, there were people offering tours to uptown white people of the exotic and dangerous Chinatown.
Come smell it.
Yeah. They're like on these like old school like horse and buggies, like, oh, and here's where this mock duck, didn't cut his fingernails.
This is exactly you brought up Gangs of New York before. They do that exact thing with the 5 Points. John C.
yeah.
Reilly's
Yeah.
character like
Yep.
gives tours to the rich folk. It's like, look at
Yeah.
how the poor Irish live. Come watch.
Times are different.
Do they sell any like merch or anything?
Like a sad kid on a t-shirt.
They sold that one guy's nose.
Yeah, authentic souvenir.
No, you guys know those like glasses with the Chinese eyes on them that you can like move around a little bit.
No.
You don't know
No, I
those?
don't know what I'm talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's pre Groucho Marx glasses. You put them on your face and you can change the direction of the eyes. It was fun. I
So
had a
there were
pair.
other white people calling for the demolition of Pell and Mott Street, just fucking take it off the fucking map and rebuild.
Yeah, that'll fix everything.
Gentrification.
So after Mock's release from jail, he married a woman named Tai Yao Chin in 1906. Now, it didn't stop this playboy from walking around the street with all of his white mistresses, but Tai Yao was actually kidnapped twice while he was in jail. Once she was brought to Philly, and the other time she was brought to Rhode Island.
Oh no.
And I guess the hip sing got her back. Now, Tai Yao Chin had a child from a previous marriage in San Francisco. It was a girl named Hai Oi. This kid was not allowed to walk on the streets alone, obviously, because like Mock is like a big target, and Mock knew that Tom Lee was not above kidnapping his wife's kid. What Tom didn't expect was, or what Mock didn't expect, was Tom's connection to the Society of the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. So Ha Oi had some Caucasian features about her. Possibly Tai Yoi's first husband may have been white. But one day the SPCC knocked on Mock Duck's door and claimed that Aoi was a white Christian child that was being kept in slavery, beaten, and abused.
What?
They also claimed that the girl's hair was dyed and her yellowish skin, quotes, was a disguise in paint to make her look like a Chinese person.
Wow.
Man, old timey racism is
Yeah.
just like
It's
It's at your front door.
It's phenomenal. I always thought the yellow thing was weird because they don't like Chinese people don't look
Yeah.
even remotely
there's
yellow.
no human being looks yellow.
No.
Yeah,
Unless you have
Simpsons do.
jaundice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one was always fine. And the fact that they had to add that in there to go, they've been painting your skin.
Painting your skin yellow.
They've been painting your skin, your hair's not that way. It's red. You're Irish. Come be home with us.
Did they take his kid?
Yeah.
Whoa, they did?
Aoi was taken, and there was a massive court case for custody. Mock even tried to bribe the judge a few times, which he got called out for, which didn't help his case.
Yeah.
In the end, it was ruled that Aoi was in fact Caucasian
That's
and
crazy.
and this is in quotes, and was no way bound to Mock and his wife by ties of race. And that even if she was the child of Mock Duck, he was no way fit to be her guardian.
Wow.
It's 2021.
But also,
Well,
I like
that's
it's like,
bad.
well, I like how they're like, maybe if you guys were, maybe if she was Asian, you'd be tied by race, so
Yeah.
you could own this child.
It's like immaculate racial conception.
Yeah,
Right. They're not even saying that she isn't their child.
Yeah,
It's
it's like,
well,
you two had somehow a white baby. Like,
Yeah, right. You
I
can't
don't know
have
what
it.
you're thinking. I'm going to be kind here and explain what's going on.
yeah.
The two of you lovely Chinese folk, you had a baby. And what happened there is it popped dad a little bit on the whiter side. Okay. Now, it's not your fault, but at the same time, we got to handle that. Okay? We're going to take this up to town hall. We're going to take this baby. We're going to take care of it. And it's not because you're bad people, it's because you're scum. Okay. Can't take care of no white kids.
oh, man.
So Ha Oi was taken away, rehomed, and never saw Mock or her mother again.
That's
Oh, my
fucked.
God.
And
That's
she
Tom
actually
Lee doing that
she
shit.
grew up as Celine Dion.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
that's
Oh, wow,
Celine Dion?
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, that's Celine Dion.
I didn't know Celine Dion was Asian. That's crazy.
I'm glad she got her life together.
Not according to law.
She's not.
It's Caucasian.
By law, they made her Canada.
Well,
Canadian.
Canadian.
They made her Canada.
there's also Asian and Caucasian.
That's true.
It's true. Because
So after this incident,
Where does it come
Mock
from? I
Duck
want
was
to know,
like-
actually. I'm sorry,
After this-
Travis.
After this incident, Mock Doc was like, "Fuck this! I'm done with the New York hip sing." He packed his bags. I think he left his wife behind because he ended up having a second wife. And he left for Chicago, where him and some hip sing boys collected protection money from locals of Chicago. Remember, the hip sing was an international. They had stuff in China. They had stuff all across the states.
Yeah, it's like dominoes.
Yeah.
It will ruin a family no matter where you are.
It always tastes the same.
Yep.
Then in 1908, he moved to Denver.
Oh, that dank.
Shortly after moving there, this guy Yi Long showed up dead in an alley, poisoned.
Jeez.
The police had put it together that the local hip sing gambling boss had hired Mock Duck to take out the opposition. So he's like a hired hitman on the
Hired
road.
duck.
Yeah, hired duck. From there, he went to San Francisco, and finally in 1909, he headed back to New York.
I'm
He was
going.
$30,000 richer from all of these different things that he had done. And he was covered in from head to toe in gold and diamond jewelry. More of it. He's like the Mr. T of Asia.
He didn't track down his daughter and try and get her back. He's like, yo, fuck it.
Nah, he's done.
He's like, well, she's white now, so.
Yeah. Disown her, I guess.
I can't win this case. They got to keep finding her white.
Yeah.
You can't buy her back or some shit. Or, I don't know. I feel like they weasel your way out, like bribe them. He tried bribing, like you said, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when you get called out by the judge that many times and they have it out for you, just give up your daughter. You're a disgusting gangster anyway. Do you care?
I care.
You care. You're
Continue,
better than
Travis. I'm
Mike's getting sad.
I don't know what's wrong with me today.
So there had been relative peace in Chinatown while Mock was gone. Probably because Mock wasn't there. Things had kind of fizzled over. But like the Angel of Death, a new Tong War was about to erupt. So on August 15th, 1909, a 21-year-old woman named Bao Kum was brutally hot.
Beautiful.
Bao Kum was brutally murdered with a hunting knife.
Oh.
She was bound and tortured, possibly raped, and stabbed twice through the heart in her apartment.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Naturally, the police were like, Mock! And Mock actually had an alibi. He was like, dude, I was in Coney Island sucking down dogs. Didn't do it. Check me
Sucking
out.
on chili dogs.
Could you imagine like the clamp he had? He had the long fingernails, right? And he's kind of holding it like a tong would hold a meat confection.
It's like one of those you get the stuffed animals out of the thing.
Yeah, the
Crane
claw
game?
machine.
Only he's grabbing hot
It's a
dogs.
sideways claw machine. Just
He just keeps trying to get his
down.
dog, but he can't get it because it keeps slipping out through his nails.
right. You know, after this, I'm going to go on to Amazon Prime and watch some of those compilation cartoon videos they have. There's like 3-hour blocks of old Warner Brothers properties.
Oh.
A lot of fun racist stuff in there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to get it all out of my system.
So it turns out that this whole story had nothing to do with Mock. Again, this was just kind of the powder keg that kind of started off this next war. So Bao Kum's husband was an An Leon, and he had rescued her from the 4 brothers from slave prostitution ring. But her original owner, who was both 4 brothers and Hip Sing, demanded that this guy, like her husband, pay for her. Because he had like taken his woman, as you know. And so the guy was like, no, I'm not paying for you. So he killed her.
Law's
Yeah.
law.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
gotta-
know.
Yeah.
Terrible situation.
So that's what they do with the Hasidic community in New York now.
Whenever you might feel bad about like buying a used car and asking the owner that you're purchasing it from to write a bill of receipt that is much less, remember there's greater crimes out there.
Yeah. Right?
like buying your wife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Having her killed.
Or not buying her,
Not
and then
buying her
someone
wife.
kills
Exactly.
her.
Getting
Yeah.
her murdered.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Bao Kum was a hottie.
I thought she was a rental.
There's a
Bring her
picture
back.
of wait, I think I have a picture right here.
Show me through the video camera.
I will.
Use your future
Was
camera.
it a fucking piece of paper with cum on it?
Hold on, I'm finding Bao Kum.
Val cum.
Bao Kum.
Val cum, my lady. Come. Coming on your lady.
All right.
Come.
Alrighty, so we've got another Tong War on our hands. Boom, boom, bang, bang. Lots of killings as a result. And Mock is like not really involved so much. But as a result, Tom Lee and the On Leon lose their hold in Chinatown, and the Hip Sing kind of take over.
Ooh.
All right.
With each murder, they would show up to Mock Duck and be like, "You kill that one?" And he's like, "No."
I'm a duck.
Yeah, Mock was still running a gambling den though. Like he said, he was like, "I'm done with the New York Hip Sing," but he's still running his little gambling den. And on January 1st, 1912, Chinatown was celebrating the birth of the Republic of China. You know, the good old Mao Zedong.
Not yet.
That is cause for celebration.
This is Sun Yat-sen.
Oh, Sun Yat-sen.
Thanks, Connor.
Yeah, thanks, Connor.
I'm glad you've been joining us.
Yeah, what the
Yeah,
fuck,
right?
Travis?
Mao, I think, was either like a little baby at that point, or maybe like 15.
He came
Little
into power in
baby
the
Mao?
40s, right?
Yeah, 49 is when the Chinese Civil War. No, earlier. 46 or 47 is when the Chinese Civil War ended.
Okay.
Right, not the Soviets. That was when the Soviets hung out.
1917 for the Soviets.
This place is
That's
awesome.
close.
Close.
1912 is like end of Imperial China and end of the spheres of influence from the Europeans.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So
like
now
that.
we actually have like cool, like actual good China, and not like
This is
Mao
like when
Zedong?
China the nation is formed.
Oh,
The nation.
hell yeah.
Yeah, not like the
So
Way
The
Empire
Republic.
Or the wrestler.
or the rest.
yeah, people were excited for this new female wrestler on the scene, China.
Vibes.
And they're partying it up. 1912. So
Good year.
4 drunk on Leon boys stumble out of a party that was thrown by Tom Lee, walk down the street to Pell Street, where they hit up a gambling den. Not knowing what gambling den it was, they just were like, "Let's go play some Fan-Tan." They walked in, they sat down at a table, and sitting right across from them was the vice president of the Hip Sing Tong. And Mock Duck was the dealer. He just dealt them in and smiled.
So did he know who these boys were?
I don't know. He's like, he's probably fucking high on opium. He's like, yeah, sure, sit down.
Yeah, sit the fuck down, yo.
About 20.
That's a fucking opium, guy.
Again, we're going to have some really good numbers with rounds discharged and how many people are actually killed. About 20 shots were fired in the opium den. And in the end, the vice president of the Hip Sing Tong was killed. Another man of the Hip Sing Tong was mortally wounded and died a few days later. But 20 rounds. I mean, come on.
A lot of shots. I guess
Yeah.
you're nervous too. You're like, holy fuck, I'm about to do this shit, but I don't know. That's pretty bad. That's the accuracy percentage is not good.
What would you say if someone was firing like that in Counter-Strike, Mike?
I'd be freaking the fuck out. I'd be like, stand still. You're not standing still. That's why your bullets going everywhere. And move that crosshair up because you're gonna be shooting at their fucking toes.
Yeah.
Enough of me.
This is Mike's.
No, Mike,
this
you were
is
just
Mike's
going for time
Counter-Strike.
as
I broke the mic.
yeah.
Gosh, stand still. I want the crosshair up on the head.
Yeah.
And I want you gotta strafe. You gotta jiggle back and forth.
Is this how you get so many women to come over?
Yes.
Okay.
You gotta start jiggling when you shoot. You gotta shimmy like that.
I've always been a jiggler.
You gotta jiggle so they can't hit you can't get hot shot when you do that.
Well, straight.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is still back in the day where like police just kind of roamed around and like listened for gunfire. So some police had heard these 20 rounds go off and they ran over to the scene. They figured out what house it was and they opened the door and they just find a smoky gambling den and Mock Duck again just sitting there smiling, dealing cards or tablets. I don't know what they play with.
Stones, goddammit.
Stones. The officers, little did they know that there was a dead body under a table and another one dying, like bleeding out.
Damn.
So the officers helped themselves to a cup of tea and they walked around the room to get a cup of green tea.
Yeah, the opium
And they
tea
noticed
boys.
a hand and a puddle of blood come pooling out from underneath the table.
Oh. Uh-oh.
They then asked Mock, they're like, "Who's the dead guy?" Mock's like, "I don't know."
Now, these aren't Chinese police. These are the mix, right?
Probably Irish.
So the mix are like, hey,
Look at here.
hey, McShaughnessy, you see that fucking hand over there? I'm drinking me oolong.
So they arrest everyone in the den on the spot, Mock included. Now, they couldn't hit Mock with murder, but what they could hit him with was illegal gambling. Now, after dodging the legal bullet for so long, this time they finally got him.
Oh.
So Mock was arrested and he was charged with illegal gambling and locked up in Sing Sing prison for 2 years.
Damn.
Not that bad, but you know, it's still Sing Sing in around the turn of the century. So
Not
probably
great.
pretty
Yeah, I've
bad.
heard of that place. Sounds like a bad place.
What
I
is
actually did
what is the origin of that name?
Sing Sing.
You want to sing to get out of there, right? Is that your jail singing?
Yeah, they had a
that
choir
may
team.
have been reverse engineered. I'm trying to find how it was engineered.
Oh.
I don't know. I did do some research and I did find on the Irish side of my family, there was a guy that lived pretty much where the UN building is now. There was like a tenement and it listed him as a junk dealer. He was like my great grandfather or some shit.
That adds up.
And he stabbed someone and went to Sing Sing for 5 years.
That's it? 5
Yeah.
years? Get
For a
some
quick
cool,
stab.
get some free
Little
tattoos and some fucking
Little Irish
good
guy.
memories.
Captain
Yeah.
Stabbing.
Oh. The name Sing Sing was derived from the Sint Sink Indian tribe from whom the land was purchased in 1685.
Wow.
Wait, you say Indian?
Yeah, it's
Very
a Native American
insensitive.
tribe.
Oh, taking
Very
from Indians
insensitive.
again.
Wow, yeah. Look at the most racist
Classic.
guy on the show right now.
Yeah.
Indian.
Thank you.
Sorry. Just quoting Wikipedia here.
Now Tom Lee, he that.
Tom Lee Jones.
So while Mock was locked up in Sing Sing, Tom Lee died in 1913. Nothing special. He's just an old man. There's actually a picture of him. It'll probably be in the cover art. He used to walk around with one of those captain hats when he
That's
got
cool.
older. He's like captain hat and the long like Fu Manchu
Oh, beard thing going.
beard.
What kind of captain, though? Like
Stabbing.
captain stabbing, not hook.
Yeah, no, stabbing style.
All right, cool.
Now, after Mock was released from Sing Sing, he kind of just like fell off the map for a very long time. He reemerged in 1932.
Damn.
He had showed up in Newark Hospital. He was shot through the neck by a drive-by shooter.
Oh,
That's gotta hurt.
So Mock actually used his real name when he was admitted, the Cy Wing Mock, for the papers. So people didn't really know he never used that name. But police were able to piece together, when you go into the hospital shot through the neck, people are going to look around.
we're just going to start asking questions.
Yeah. So they figured out that it was actually Mock Duck. And that because he had said, like, I'm done with the hip sing after the whole Sing Sing thing. But they found out that he did not leave the hip sing. In fact, in 1929, he became their national president and was pulling the strings for their ongoing war from his hideout in Coney Island.
He loved them hot dogs.
He loved. It's a competitive eater too.
Yeah.
Just let me suck down another hot dog.
Yeah.
Little Joey Chestnut over here.
He's in a dime museum, just hiding in the back.
Yeah.
And here's our fortune teller.
So, knowing this vital piece of information, the government strong-armed Mock to work with federal agents in both the U.S. and China. Remember, this is like a international gangs going on to make peace between the Tongs of the New York Chinatown.
Say you're sorry, old man.
Yeah.
How degrading.
Yeah, well, at least, so it stopped at least flagrant acts of violence on the street. I mean, these Tongs still operate today. I don't know if I mentioned it on the show or before we started, the Hip Sing Tong Association was actually busted in 2012 in Portland, a few blocks from where I live for, that's where their headquarters in Portland are, for like drug trafficking.
So what?
We're going to see a pepper bomb
what kind of
fly
drugs?
through Travis's window right now.
Yeah, some guy's going to run in just like,
Yeah, hatchets to the
Fucking
back
pepper.
of your head.
He unloaded 30 clips at me, and I got shot once in the foot.
It's a ricochet. I'm all right, but
I'll be fine. It's just the pinky area. It's a bunion.
I got holes in my walls.
so does anyone want to ask me the question about this fake ass, duck ass man?
Hey Travis, I think you gotta tell me how this fine gentleman dies.
I think you guys are like sleepy. You guys are getting hit with that MSG. sleep
I didn't know if
after
there's
eating
a
all this
specific
crap.
phrase for it. I didn't know you could just say, how did he die?
No, all of our
How'd he
rituals,
die?
our rituals and customs here on Roach Mortem are very much garbage. So
Spontaneous,
they're ready to
Connor.
be shredded.
I
Spontaneous.
like the
something.
how's your week tradition.
Yeah, well,
That one's
Yeah.
got to stay.
it's staying. They all stay, but they take different forms.
And Slick never edits it out.
Back
Bad
to
stuff.
Mike's question there. Travis, take
Take us home. Come on.
Cat attack.
That's how he died?
Put a leash on him.
He died from a cat
Death
attack?
by
Yeah.
cat. What a terrible way to go out.
I'm just checking these. Okay, good.
Come on, Steve Jobs.
Okay, so Mock Duck retired officially after this whole peace thing. At some point, I don't know exactly when. I think I mentioned it that I think it was before he left for Chicago and Denver. He had divorced Tai Yao, his one wife, and married a white chick named Frances. Yeah.
Franny's got that fanny.
And
Fanny
he,
Hill.
That's for our UK listeners.
Yeah. Oi.
yeah. And he died in July 23rd, 1941 of the good old consumption, tuberculosis.
Really? TB made it that far?
Tuberculosis.
That's a long life for this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fuck.
he lived a while.
I mean, even after showing up in a Newark hospital with bullet wounds in his neck, he made it another, 10 years?
Yeah, holy fuck.
Interestingly enough, he was buried in Cypress Hills Cemetery. Smoke weed, dog.
Right off to Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, and he was buried. He wasn't buried next to either one of his wives, but a woman named Pang Ha Wu, who was a stewardess that he took some trips to China. Probably gave him some tuggies with them hands. So he was a player even after he died, because she died in like the 70s.
That's fire.
All right, cool.
Wow.
Good for them.
Good for Mock Duck.
Yeah,
So-
big duck boy.
Mock Duck. What a guy.
What a piece of fucking shit.
I think we need to start. Okay, so China's coming in fast, are they not?
China.
China.
Yeah,
They're
China.
here. They're taking over. They're going to be a global superpower.
2050, they say.
2050?
That seems late.
Yeah, I think
That's the worst case scenario, they say.
right. Well, what's best case scenario? Next week?
Already?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who knows? You never know these days. I could look at my phone and the fucking world's upside down already.
Joey Biden addresses the nation tomorrow and just says, "Hey, we are all China."
We're
Hey,
all China.
We're kind of fucked now.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
So look, I say, look, we there was a few jokes in here, none of mine, but you guys very tasteless stuff.
You know what? I in this day and age, I'm not gonna talk about it.
Okay, hold on. You got this guy Tom Lee.
What happened.
Hold on, there's that bug of yours. Look at that, Mike.
Oh, yo, these fuckers are on my car. They must have came from my car.
No, he was downstairs.
He's downstairs chilling. What do you
He's
call
fine.
these
He's
guys?
harmless.
What do you
He's
call
harmless.
these bugs?
It's a grasshopper.
It's a grasshopper. I killed
Or
him
a
the other
cricket.
day.
I don't know. I can't see from here.
Fuck
All
them.
right, back to the point. What I'm saying is that China is as a fantastic a country as it is. They've been going out of their way. Look, take Tom Lee for example. His name's not Tom Lee.
Tommy
He
Lee
made
Jones.
it Tom Lee so we could talk about him. So I say we all find our names. We find our Chinese names.
I know
We
mine.
should.
What's your Chinese?
I have a Wu-Tang name.
What's
Type
your
it in
Wu-Tang?
Google. I forgot it. But
You forgot.
let me
put-
type my Wu-Tang
I'm
name
just
in,
saying
all
maybe
right?
it should be on our licenses. Maybe we can start moving that process forward. Be in the good graces of the new superpower. Okay?
Mine's gonna be Jackie Chan.
You're good. You're halfway there because you're a Lee.
Well, I'm gonna change my last name to Chan and my first name to Jackie.
Right. Connor, you're just kind of rough. You're going to have to.
I'm gonna have to change a lot, but I was also thinking it seems like Mock over here had great relations with the Irish, so I'm hoping that maybe me and my people can keep that going.
Yeah, I hope so.
You know,
I'm probably going to be Ying something. I haven't decided whether
but
it's gonna be
Ying for
Pang
sure.
Whoop.
or Ying. But either way, I'm doing one of those. And it's only because I can appreciate a society that's growing, that has thrown all these trivial things such as human rights out the window for the sake of power. I respect that.
Yeah,
because
I think
we've been faking human rights forever and we're losing them. They just got rid of them.
Ditch the facade.
Now
yeah,
they're doing it.
fuck human rights, dude.
Yeah.
Also,
fuck.
Tom, can you just look up? I just want you to see, and it'll be in the artwork. But can you open up the last picture I sent you in the chat? Because just look at Tom Lee. This is a guy. This is a guy that wins.
This is Tommy Lee
This
Jones.
is a guy that fucks. You guys want to know my Wu-Tang name?
God,
It was like Lee Scratch Perry.
this guy is awesome.
Yeah,
It's like he makes
dude.
dope reggae.
He could definitely kick my ass.
The second one, second from the bottom one I sent you that's Black Devil Toy. That guy definitely looks like he could fuck you up and fucking Princess Peach with a fucking.
With
rub.
that big smile.
That rape smile. I'm gonna
No,
fuck
not
you
the
up.
rape smile one. The guy with the big lips.
Is the creepy smile? Is that Mock Duck?
That's
Or is
Mock
that
Duck.
Big cock duck.
Sorry, it's taking a second to download.
Yeah,
these.
creepy smile and the
Ooh.
mugshot. Those are mock duck, and then the other one is with the straw hat, with big lips. That's Black Devil toy.
Oh, oh, wow.
Oh, Black Devil. He's scary guy.
Looks
Is he
like
wearing
a
a
nice-
garbage bag? What is that shit?
That's a fucking dope ass shirt. Tom.
That's the dumbest outfit I've ever seen on anyone.
Tom's,
Don't tell him that.
Tom's #1 hater.
Yeah.
He's got the Tommy Bahama hat on. he's vibing, bro.
He's ready to go to a beach.
He's got the black fucking clubs in his back.
Bro, he's going to the beach next to the nuclear power plant there.
That's fire.
Look at this fucking guy.
He looks like a
This
savage.
guy's falling apart. All right, Muck Doc, he looks like he could be in a movie. I'll give it to him. He's got a lot of character in that face.
He looks like a
lot
pro
of
skater right
stories.
now.
Which one?
This dude named, I don't know him personally, this dude Patrick Param.
I don't know him.
Who's
Yeah.
Patrick Pram? He has nothing to do with our story.
My Wu-Tang name, guys, is Shuriken Magician.
Okay, that I'll go over very well.
Good to
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Mike.
Connor, what's your last name? Hey, so, your
I'm
last
not
name.
gonna answer
How
that
you,
question.
how you spell your last name? I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
Let me type it in.
Yeah,
All right, look, let's wrap up the episode. Travis, thank you so much. And I think we
hold
actually
on, we're not done yet.
we dodged a bullet, unlike Mock Duck's neck there.
Yeah, so my Wu-Tang name is Wicked Watcher.
That's
which
fire.
doesn't sound like a Wu-Tang name at all.
This is a shitty generator. Who brought this idea? All right, can you cut that out? Zwick? Fuck.
Leaving it all
Nope, leaving it.
I'm quitting.
Zwick never cut any of Mike's stuff.
in. Okay. I'm wrapping the episode. Travis, thank you so much for being here and doing all that research. What a good time we had learning about the gangs of New York,
That was
Eastern
fun.
style.
That was a topic I knew nothing about.
Yeah. Listen up, Martin Scorsese.
Tong
Come on,
Wars.
so
Who knew?
Martin Scorsese is all about Asian hate because he hasn't done this story.
It's true. This would be right up his alley.
Yeah. Connor, thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, thanks, Connor.
Always a pleasure.
Mike, always. Thank
You know what, guys are welcome. Say that.
And thanks to traffic as well.
Yeah, thanks, traffic.
God damn
I
it.
like
Thanks,
Steve
traffic.
Jobs.
I said that. You can hear a pin drop after I said that before. It's all right. I'm out of my mind, apparently.
We just did a bunch of opium before we went on the show.
That's right. And you,
Allegedly.
before you coming after listening to the show, go to patreon.com/roastmortemcast. Check it out, roastmortemcast.com. There's like a shirt and a hat that
I've
Mike
yet
will
to
never
get. I never got any of this shit.
I gave
want
you
the
pet
hat.
wipers.
I want the hat real bad.
Thank
you,
Travis,
Shane. That's
anything
fire.
else to add to that?
Go get egg roll. I'm putting it in at the end like this. It's gonna be good at the end. Goodbye. I love you so much. You have.
And
good
we're
night.
signing
Thank you
off.
for watching the
And
show.
time to
3,
go.
My name is
1.
Travis Ree. I can say it like this because I am Asian.
Oh, God. All right.
That's
We're
Tommy
out.
Lee Jones.
Thank you,
everyone.
Shane, for listening. Bing bong.
Bye.